Hello everyone, welcome to the Bushiroad Championship Series Finals here from Japan. I would like to introduce ourselves. My name is Sasha, I work for Bushiroad Europe and I'm in charge of marketing supervising. And with me today I have the one, the only, you know him from YouTube. If you haven't, you'll find him later. Different fight, he fights different. So what's up, Chris?
Thank you for having me here. My name is Chris, and today I'll be joining Sasha for the commentary of both Cardfight Vanguard and Future Card Buddy Fight. So, what is our plan for today?
We have something really huge planned. So as you know, there are a lot of players here, and throughout the whole year, last year, 2017, there was a long circuit going on in spring to autumn, Chris. So talk a little bit, how many players were there? There are so many players.
I believe today we have a total of 145 players flown in from a total of 47 different locations, and they hail from 28 different countries. That is something that we've never had before.
No, before
in the
we were
history
just
of the
in
game.
small continental finals and everything all together. And now we have everybody just here, which is so insane. So what we will cover today is not only now Vanguard, of course, with the first round, just almost starting soon, but we also will have White Schwartz, of course, Future Card Body Fight, and the finals for Luck and Logic. Sadly, the end for Luck and Logic as well, but we will have some exciting matches, I think. And we will already have a nice round one, I heard.
Yeah, we have a very exciting round one for you guys, and I hope you're all looking forward to it. I think those of you that are supportive of your own local community will be very happy to see the players that will be fighting in the first round, as well as the decks that they will be using. So, I believe that will more or less be what we're planning to do. I think honestly this is going to be a very exciting day.
Yes, just so that you know, we will start now from 10 a.m. and then we'll go out, that's our local time here, go out 2 p.m. That's the Cardfight Vanguard rounds till round 5. And then after we will do first the Luck and Logic finals, of course going with the prize presentation and ceremony. And then we will go out through an end of the day with White Schwartz, Buddy Fight, where Chris will be commentating for you the finals. And then we will have the best final of the day, which is of course Cardfight Vanguard.
Yes, so Vanguard will be concluding at around 6:30 p.m. if I'm not mistaken. So from now until 2 p.m. we will be having the Cardfight Vanguard Swiss rounds, and then we'll be switching to the finals of each and every game that will be featured in today's tournament.
Yes, so Chris, who are our players? I think they are quite known in this community, I've heard.
So, actually we have a very interesting matchup, and one of the things that I really like about the World Tournament Finals is that we have this combination of different regions, and every region has its own playstyle, and today, especially in this first round, we're going to see a very interesting clash between these regions. So, from Mexico, we do have Mr. Max Carreño, who will be representing...
Interesting.
Exactly, so he's a very big name in the Mexican community, so I think a lot of the local players will be very excited to see him. And then on top of that, against him, we will have Wang Chir-hung, who is actually one of the most achieved players from Asia.
Didn't he almost win almost anything? Like
pretty much.
Every regionals, I think he was first or second.
He has been topping for quite a lot, and from all the players that have come here today for the Vanguard section, from all of the Asia/Oceania players, he's actually the most achieved one with a total of 4 tops in Bushiroad official tournaments. So I think there's going to be very exciting matchups. We will see their decks in just a moment, but I think it's very interesting to see. We're going to see the different playstyles of both the Asian community, as Wang Shir is representing Malaysia,
that is true,
as well as the North American community,
yes, of course,
especially Mexico.
Because if you've seen like some videos, maybe also on your channel, but also of course on local medias in YouTube or whatever, you see the difference in between, like, let's say Asian styles of gameplay and Americans, of course, where I say like Mexico has some side of the game, you know, the same game plan, but it will be very interesting because I think Deleter is one of the best matchups right now against almost every deck. Because this is just so strong also with the new clan booster that came out, so this is going to be interesting. But of course, Overlord, man, it's just, I can just go with Overlord every day because Overlord is just a nice guy.
That's pretty much the case. So
maybe we see some purges as well.
Perhaps
that
we
would
will.
Be nice, like some 5-trigger shenanigans, you know. That
Possibly,
would be some fun.
that'll be pretty hype.
So yeah, we also have some fun later because I heard that we have some zoo packs that we can open.
I heard that as well. I think
if you're now in your local store and having some fun doing like watching the stream in your party or something, you know, as with all your players and friends out there, you can go some hashtags trending with some pictures if you want. Like just go with hashtag VCS Finals on Twitter and share your pictures. But we're gonna do,
players.
you know, but we're gonna do opening some zoo packs later and have some fun.
Later down
so let's see if we get some nice cards out of that.
Yeah, for sure. So, as has been mentioned by Sasha, so Wang Chir will be actually playing the leaders, which in my opinion, as you said before, is a very solid pick for this tournament. Because from the 3 Link Trigger decks that are viable for this tournament, we have Chaos,
Yeah.
we have Messiah, and we have the leaders. With Chaos, I believe it is one of the strongest decks that has a very strong control over most matchups as well. But some of the recent supported decks like Overlord or Thavas are ones that don't struggle that much against it anymore, and therefore I feel like it's a bit risky to take Chaos to a tournament like this.
That's true. I think like the leader players are quite happy, as in they can actually tell that they have a good matchup almost against everything, which is now meta-ish, because like Overlord and Purge is of course very strong. But yeah, we are now in game 1 of the first round of Cardfight Vanguard with just nice purple sleeves here.
Oh yes, those definitely look very nice. So we can see they already started their first turn, so we can see Wangcheer on the right playing the leaders, and then we can have Max Carreño on the left playing Overlord. So they have begun their first turns, and we already see that Wangcheer has gotten into his first ride. And now, well, we see Max is going for the Protect Orb ride, so he'll have to carefully position his starter, and he goes for the first swing, and he gets another Protect Orb, so that's not too bad. And Wangcheer gets the leader starter and passes on to his own turn.
Yes, of course, starting off the match, you will see like their right phases. He will maybe straight go to an Overlord and have some fun.
I believe we'll
if
see
it's possible.
something along those lines. One of the other interesting things to note is that it seems that...
trigger there.
Oop, okay,
But-
got a stun trigger and a heal trigger that will unfortunately not go off.
Yeah.
So
Since
one
of course
the,
he has 1 damage, it doesn't go off, so...
yeah.
But it's good for later because he has some G-Guards then already prepared in his hand, so it could be okay for him. Also with all the damage that he can take from Overlord and everything, so it's quite good to have a G-Guard in your hand to, of course, guard yourself against that. So let's see here. Going to grade 2.
Yeah, one of the important things to mention actually is that Wangcheer got the first turn, which is very important for the leader player because
Oh, yeah, that's
the leaders
true.
have a very strong early game, and in general the rush power of the deck is extraordinary. So I think it's going to be quite scary for Max because right now he's going to have to put up with most likely being deleted next turn while he's still on grade 2.
Very true.
So I think it's quite scary. I think for Max it would have also been nice for him to start because if you can go into the Destiny
Yeah.
on the first, going into grade 3 first before his opponent, he would be able to get rid of the annoying deleter starter as well. But
Yes.
because he started second, he won't have.
Yeah, I think he got his
possibility
right
to do
support
that.
right now out of his deck, so of course later he can do some shenanigans with his Overlords.
Yeah, that's definitely very important.
Yeah.
So because now Kairo does have 2 Stride Fighters actually, so we do have one that is universal, that counts as a grade 3 for any stride that you go into, but there's also the Doombringer, which is the Overlord only Stride Fighter, so you won't be able to use it for any of your other strides apart from ones with Overlord name. So we can also see that now Max has searched out the one and only, the Destiny.
The Destiny, man. I
So-
see Overlords. I can go with Overlords and Destiny every day.
Yep. Oh, and
So
he
it
drops the
that.
Legend.
Yeah.
Yeah, so quite an interesting turn of events, I think. So he's going to be swinging with a 16k attack
Let
here.
it pass. Oh,
And
no trigger.
no triggers here. And nothing there either. So that is the Greyon, however, going into the damage zone. So that reveals us a little bit of information about his grade 3 lineup. And we can see that Wangcheer, here we go. This will potentially be the first delete of the game. So let's see how he decides to pace this out.
I think if you see his hand, there's quite a lot of grade 0s on his hand, which is
He
of course
does,
not
indeed.
bad. But you want to have them in your deck for triggers because I think that's his best opportunity also to rush it a little bit out. As in, if he gets off with his Destiny and the end, that
Yeah.
would be not so fun, of course, for him, as in going with a lot of damage.
Yep, that's definitely true. And now we can see that Wangcheer already activated his very first delete. So this is the grade 3 that did allow him to retire 2 and re-delete 1. And he also got to call from the top of the deck, and he also got the Stride Power out of that. So it's definitely very good. So now his opponent's on 0 power.
Yeah, it is.
Like you mentioned, he does have a lot of grade 0s in hand.
Yeah.
But those grade 0s are poking for 5k on a 0.
Yeah,
that's
really
still asking
true.
for a
I think
10k
the only
shield.
possibility now for his opponent is only to go with PGs, right? I mean, otherwise he cannot block this attack off.
He could
Mr.
still
Link
potentially,
Joker
but now
right
he
now.
has called one of his grade 1s as well, so all of these attacks will be asking for a lot from Max Carreño. I think right now it's looking quite tight, but so far the situation isn't too bad. It all depends. Like, as we can see that Wangcheer has revealed so far, he runs 3 types of stun trigger.
Yeah,
You can
that's
see two of them on the field and one of them in the drop zone.
Yeah, so first damage came through, no guards here from Max. Let's see what he does with his second attack.
Yep, still considering.
I would have say just pass it and then maybe try to avoid the Vanguard attack, but then of course we don't know what triggers he hits. So see, like second damage hit. Now he's on 3 damage. There comes the Vanguard through. Let's see what triggers he gets. Okay, he says just pass. First one, nothing. Second,
Perfect guard.
perfect
That's
guard.
definitely
That's
important.
good for his hand though.
Yeah, definitely. So, Max will resume his turn, now on 4 damage. He hasn't even ridden to grade 3, but it's not exactly the worst thing either, because for him to, as an Overlord player, it's definitely not the worst case scenario either.
Yes.
So, now Max is going into the one and only, the Destiny. He'll be activating his skill, because the timing is either when he rides it or at
Yes.
the beginning of each
That's true.
ride phase. So he is able to Soul Blast 1 and then retire any rear guard on the field. So he retired the grade 1, and now he's using the Universal Stride Fodder.
So nice of him to see that we have 6 cards in hand, which is good for
Yes.
us as commentators.
It's definitely good. So now let's see. Max is going to be taking first stride, which is
Yes.
important. Now, with this kind of matchup, like, it's good that Wang Qir got the first turn, because even though he can stride, he can delete and push aggression so fast. Because now his opponent is on 4 damage, the amount of things he can do next turn, because again, he's just going to delete next turn, he's going to try to rush as fast as possible, and now Max has been saving his hand a little bit. He didn't guard at all in that last turn, right?
Yep.
So now, because he saved all those cards in hand, he should be able to more or less be able to push through the, to survive the next turn.
So he retires the next front of his rear guards, going with
Yep.
some cards here.
Yeah, so he's
Out of his
activating
deck.
the Overlord's
Overlord's
strike
ability.
skill
Yes, strike skill.
to counterblast 1 and to retire 1 unit on his opponent's field, and
Yes.
also look at the top 7 for an Overlord, and he finds himself another the Destiny. Could we potentially see some ZRs in this game?
That would be interesting.
That could be quite
But
exciting.
doesn't he lose like all of his G zones then afterwards if he doesn't come through with his attack? That would be a
If-
bit sad because you need some more, restanders after. I mean, that's all what is Kagero about, besides, of course, the Purge going off if he hits 5 damage. But then he has to block off all these deleters' attacks. Because, of course, if he
That's
doesn't have
true.
any power, what can he do about it? It's like, come on.
That's true.
You
He's gonna have to bank
You just
it
have to
on-
drop a whole of G-Guards or PGs to ever cover that attack. So, of course, flips his lovely friend there to pay for the ability.
Yep, so now he's activating the Purge to force a damage to Wang Qir, putting him up to 3, and any triggers that he would have gotten in that damage would have been cancelled as well.
That's true. Which is
Yeah.
an interesting mechanic because, of course, it gives you a lot of abilities. Think about it being a heal trigger and you cannot do anything.
Yep, that's it. There
Which
goes
is
your
like,
defensive
oh,
power,
so
there goes
sad.
everything.
Okay, I think now he's checking for damage, of course. He doesn't want to do anything wrong at this standpoint because it's going to be a lot of damage coming through.
Yep, definitely. And in the end, Wang Qir does have only 6 cards in hand, and so even though he's on 3 damage, he could technically afford
I mean, what we know though is he has 1 PG, and I think that 1 heal trigger is still in his hand, which
Yeah.
he can use for G guarding.
That's
So could be possibly okay-ish, but let's see how it goes.
definitely survivable.
Yes.
But let's see how long this actually lasts.
But then, of
out.
course, you have to rethink as in, is this survivable now? But then the next turn, he maybe just have 2 cards in hand, draws that third, goes into maybe his stride if he's able to, but maybe has to drop either 1 card from seeing his hand. He's not having so much of stride support, I think, right now. So either he will just drop 2 cards, which is grade 2 and 1, or maybe just 3 grade 1s, and then he has nothing back in his hand, and just, there comes the attack.
Yep.
So
and
you're
he
gonna stop
also,
there.
just before activated the grade 1 Conroe skill
That's true.
to give his
no
Vanguard
guides
the
from him.
skill.
So first trigger, nothing. Second, nothing. Got an Overlord and another
Ooh,
Overlord.
another
Jesus
the
Christ,
legend.
that's a good thing for his
Yep.
next
Wang
turn.
Qir gets a
though.
heal, but is not able to activate it
No,
because,
because he has
does
3 damage to 4.
Yep, exactly. So
Giving the power, of course, to his Vanguard now, which is helping him a little bit, but let's see here. No triggers though for Max going into the next attack, so he's now counting.
yeah, and now this the Evolute on the one that is still standing will have some extra power because as long as you're on a stride that is an Overlord, he will be gaining plus 2,000 power for each card in his opponent's damage zone. So he'll be receiving a plus 8k boost right now, and that's actually quite scary.
Gets
for,
another damage.
Yep. So he did take the last attack and he guarded this one. I think that was the right move because
Yes.
he banked it on a possible damage trigger, that way saving a bit of cards in hand. He doesn't have that many, so I think anything he has right now is very
That's true.
valuable.
Let's see what he drops now for his stride.
Okay, he drops his alternate grade 3.
Yeah, that's true.
He's still considering. Okay, he hovered over it, but he did decide to.
Maybe
pay
he was
the cost.
thinking of maybe just putting it on the board, of course, to have a bit more of attacks, but yeah, let's see here.
So he goes into the Aodayan. So this stride is quite ridiculous in my opinion because not only will he now be deleting Max's Vanguard,
Yeah.
on top of that he will be pumping up his front row
Yeah,
by a
that's true.
considerable bit to the point that I'm not sure if Max is going to be able to survive this because this is going to be, he's on 4 damage and this is going to be, normally just 3 attacks, but we've seen he potentially runs 12 stand triggers in his deck, and that is quite scary. So
Of course, Max's opponent has to do something now. He's either doing some sort of final turn, as in, I have to do something now before I get his next attack, which will be possibly another Purge, and then of course he's dead.
Yeah.
So he has to do something in his turn, or he just comes off with a Restander Overlord and just be like, you know what, I just call it the end into the destiny.
Yep.
So, you know, Kakarot has a lot of possibilities now, also with the new booster that came out. So it is not that they're, you know, they have some possibilities of finding their way out of solutions, as in they have a lot of possibilities. With a lot of cards possible also from the set, giving him options, as in effect, to just retire his board if he needs to. Or of course, go will just a lot of damage. Just ridiculous attacks. So there we see the deletion of his Vanguard now.
Yep, and he gets the top deck call. Oh no.
That's a nice one.
That is definitely not something that Max is going to be too happy to see.
No,
because
that's the thing. That's why I said it is a nice one. That's good for his opponent. Of course, calling it there.
Yep. So this is going to be quite scary because with the given, he's going to be able to essentially, after the Vanguard finishes attacking, he's able to retire his entire board to restand his Vanguard. So
I think Max was just not sure if that is possible, but yes, it is, Max.
No,
it is. It is possible, and of course, maybe he wanted to reread also the card of saying, am I actually in a trouble now? Yes, I am.
I think he is in quite the
There comes the first attack
situation.
from the right flank.
Yeah, so this will currently be, it also gets a pump from the current stride.
Yeah, that's why he's counting right now.
Yeah, so honestly, there's going to be a lot of attacks that Max has to put up with because by...
I think he still has 6 cards in hand, was it? Yeah.
I believe so.
I believe also.
And it looks like he has at least 2 perfect cards in hand as well.
1, 2, 3, yeah, it should be 6. There's one in the far back, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so like currently, there's only 3 attacks going through, but bearing in mind that there are a lot of stand triggers in Wang Chiu's deck,
of course,
there will be possibly going to at least 5, well, potentially 5.
Also, you have to remember for the viewers, this is best of 1. So, of course, if Max gives off the game right now, it is over for him as in the first round. Of course, he can come back as in going into the tops later, but that will put him on a nice circuit if he wins, actually, because he can then tell he won against one of the second, like also very good players from his country.
Yes.
But this is like, I play against one of the most achieving players and actually come through here at the finals.
Yep.
So really good people here.
And this is actually a really big play because Max is activating the Denial Griffin on the grade 2, meaning that he will not be able to use the skill anymore. And that is actually very big because now the Vanguard won't be able to restand. And that's a very big thing for Max's overall survivability. He still has a perfect guard in hand. He has to activate it now because I believe he still has another one. But depending on how many stands there are, obviously
I think I
he
also
only
saw
gets
a second one. Yeah,
yeah.
Flips
so,
over.
like even if he gets the stand, which he does,
ooh, that was a trigger.
That's quite big.
There you go. Power, of course, to the right flank. Nothing there. Third one.
And
oh, it's a heal
he
trigger.
goes
That's
down
good
to
for
4.
him,
That is
though.
definitely quite big. So Max still does have the comfort of having another perfect guard in his hand, so he will be able to protect from this attack. But his overall survivability for next turn is not looking too good. Although actually, I don't think it was an actual perfect guard. I think that was the stride fodder. So yeah, he did not have the perfect guard. That was the stride fodder that we saw instead. So apologies for that. But now Max is in quite the pinch.
Also, just 2 cards in his hand for dropping everything just now. 4 guards he needed to drop in order to, you know, get rid of this attack that he just came through. Then strides over.
Yeah, and one interesting interaction to take note of right here is that normally the Destiny, because it's at the start of right phase, he is not able to use the Destiny skill normally because he misses the timing because he's currently deleted and his Vanguard only undeletes once he has already entered stride.
That is true. That is true.
So he's not going to be able to retire any of Wang Chiu's units. So that's quite problematic for him, honestly. But I think it won't be the end of the world either.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah, so he's currently deciding his stride lineup for this next turn. But he has quite a few options. Honestly, with how low his cards in hand are, I think either you go for the Purge and you try to push as far as possible, but honestly, if there's even 1 perfect guard in his hand, then that's going to be quite the problem. So the Purge is definitely a good option.
Yeah, he's still considering what to pick. I think also Purge is a really good opportunity to just end this, not end this, but you know, go into a phase of I could possibly end this game right now.
Yep. There's also
because I think how many cards does he have in hand right now for blocking? I think just 3 or 4.
Wang Chiu?
Yeah.
I think he should have 4 to 5, if I'm not mistaken. But we might be able to see it later on. However, okay, he goes into the Purge. I think the other reasonable option could have been Ziegenberg.
Yeah.
Because that way he could have pressured for the restand and try to end it there.
Yeah, that is
but
true. But he can go now with 5 triggers, isn't it? So
exactly,
he
because
can
he's going to be
also
able
do
to use
it,
the Purge's skill to force a damage that he cannot cancel. And that's going to be really important for this turn because
of course.
he's going to be able to get 5 cards in his hand, which is a pretty important thing. But potentially, depending on the cards that Wangqir has, he might be able to close the game out as well.
Yes.
But right now, this is
You
a
could
very...
just say Max goes into the anime kind of character, as in, I'm Kai now, I want to end this game, let's go final turn with 5 triggers, man.
He might actually be trying to do that, so we'll see. We'll see if he calls down anything. Nope, he is going for the
He's
battle
going
phase.
straight for the
swinging
attack.
Straight to Vanguard. He didn't activate the effect of the Purge, interestingly enough, to force a damage. So that's quite interesting. So he will only have 4 drive checks, as he is on GB3,
That's
or
true.
GB4 actually. So the Perfect Guard comes down. So yeah, Wangqir definitely stays safe. There's 1 damage. There's the second drive.
Second drive.
Third
drive.
the Conroe.
And 4th.
And
oh,
the
stride
Lava
support,
Flow.
though. That's good.
But that is definitely not looking too good for Max because he
No,
didn't
that's
check
true.
into a single 10k shield in that entire
Let's say
set
for
of drive
my thought,
checks.
as in it was good, of course, if he could survive 1 more turn, it would be good to have a stride support for going now into the ends. But I don't think he can actually survive this attack now.
I don't
If he
think that's very
strides-
feasible,
If he
no.
just strides now, he will go off all of his attacks, calls everything to the board, attacks
can go
first
all
with
out.
left. Yeah, he can just go all in now and just attack and win, basically. So I think,
Oh, we can see that Wangqir, it does not seem that he will be striding. He will be using his grade 3 skill to counterblast 1 and retire 2 of his deleters to delete his opponent's Vanguard. Now he also, I believe, will be activating the Perfect Guard skill to be able to pump up some the units on his field by a little bit of power. But we'll see how he decides to play it out. So that face down card now will count as the bind zone.
yes.
So 2 units have been bound, and the grade 2 in the front row has been pumped up by a considerable bit. But I think he'll be able to potentially close out the game here because right now it's not looking very good for Max because he went through 4 cards and not a single one of them was a trigger. And we have to note that he already went through 1 G-Guard, so that's 1 heal down. He has 1 heal in the damage zone as well.
Yeah.
So it's honestly not looking very good for Max right now, but we only have to hope and see what's going to happen because honestly, Wangqir, I think he walked into this game feeling that this is a good matchup for him.
He was really confident, yeah. I think it was not as in he already knew at the beginning that of course he would win, but I think maybe he also, at his locals, prepared a little bit against the leaders because he might have known that the leaders is of course a cool matchup here, as in a lot of players are actually playing it. That he possibly maybe already prepared himself a little bit in the beginning. Maybe if he goes to the finals, we can actually ask him in the interview at the end of the day. But, you know, we have some 4 more rounds coming up, so
yeah, there's still a
definitely
lot of
interesting
action coming
today.
up, but I think this is a very good way to start it off. Both very prominent players in their own
You've
local
kind of like a
communities.
couple of players already for first round. This is so
That's
nice.
actually
As in, this
such
is
a
a
great
nice
thing.
game to just start off the stream, you know.
Yeah, definitely. So now we can see that Wangqir did activate his grade 2 skill to search out the starter, and now we'll see how he decides to proceed because looking at the cards in his hand, we can slightly see from this perspective that he does have several options that he could go through. But we'll see what he decides to actually go for. So he's hovering over that stride fodder. He's not too sure yet. He's still kind of pondering on it, but we'll see if he actually decides to go for it or not. So he's going to be calling, oh no, this is not looking too good. So the given is coming down and he's dropping the full field. He's going to be going for the restand turn. I don't think this is very good for Max. He's going to be taking the 5th damage, and that is it. He takes the 6th damage, gets the Protect Orb, and that is it. Wangqir takes game 1.
Congratulations to Wangqir for his first match of the day. Nice
Yeah.
startup for him. Also,
That was-
a lot of deletions here.
Yeah, basically with the new support that the leaders got, they're able to pull off a delete essentially every single turn because of just how consistent the new support is. And that's honestly one of the best parts. So that's a bit of a rough start for Max, but in the end, it's still not the end of the world. So yeah, that was, I think, a pretty exciting round 1. We got to see both the Overlord support in action as well as the new deleters. And honestly, I think coming into the tournament, as I said before, deleters are a very solid pick, but I wouldn't disregard Overlord either because Overlord is able to deal with a lot of matchups.
That's true.
It's just a matter of what the rest of the
I
players...
mean, even you can tell like the leader kills Chaos Breakers if he plays against a mirror match, more or less. So it's kind of like a bad matchup, I think, for Chaos Breakers to play against the leaders. So
one of the other things that we can also mention is that Wangqir's decklist also includes answers to the mirror match because he does play the Messiah Strides, so he would be able to unlock his own units in case that mirror match comes up. And I think that's a very strong, that's a really smart move that you don't even come into the tournament yet and you're already making such important
that's why I
decisions
meant, like,
in the
maybe
deck
he
building phase.
already prepared in the beginning of saying, I know what I play against, so I already prepare myself against other mirror matches that I play against deleters or against any kind of chaos breaker or whatsoever. But also nice deck though from Max, as in Kagero. I
Yep.
mean, the new support just for Kagero is so awesome. As I mean, the Purge is like, come
It's
on,
just the
if
Purge.
you saw the movie, it's just a Purge.
It's just the
Purge.
Yeah.
So as we have some time before round 2 starting, there are some other players still playing, I see in the background. You don't see the background, but it's just huge with a lot of players
Oh, yeah,
here.
this venue is definitely also very impressive.
Venue is quite nice. Also, players here can go to a merchandise booth and buy stuff actually here, which is also
Yep.
nice.
And not just players. Anybody can actually come in.
Yeah,
to the
everybody can.
merchandise booth.
If you
Yeah.
were here down in Japan, you can just join us and see us here commentating.
Yeah,
And
you can actually
see
join
him
us
in
for the
person
event.
and do pictures with different fight. I mean, who doesn't want to make pictures with different fight?
Oh, no, please stop.
So right now we want to talk a bit about what is coming up this year.
Oh,
So after this is over, of course, there's spring.
yeah.
So Chris, I think spring has something special. I heard there's Team League coming back.
Yep, so it's been a little bit of a while, but Team League will be returning for the spring circuit. So I think that's going to be quite exciting. There will be some changes to the format as well. That's definitely very nice. But before we go into those details, we will have the winner of the last round here for a quick interview. So Wang Shir will be joining us for a quick word or two about his match. So I think that's going to be quite exciting to talk about that because, you know, it's very nice to get a little feel from the
Hello,
person
Wang Shir, how are
himself.
you doing? You
So-
just won. Hi.
Congratulations.
From the deck list, like we saw, just as an answer to this question, because I asked, did you already prepare yourself as knowing that you're going to be heading against mirror matches? Because, just put it in, okay, sorry. Because we see some Messiah strides in there, right? It seems like you already prepared a bit against deleters, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, see? I told you.
Yeah. So you're already, even in the the preparation phase, you're already quite prepared for any Link Joker mirror match, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So how did you feel about that matchup against Max?
Go a bit more here. Then
How was it with
everybody can
Overlord?
hear you.
I was very lucky. He doesn't check any heal, nor he have extra heal in hand to burn my rear guards when I, delete him and attack him. So I was pretty lucky there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then also, I think one of the very important things was that you actually got to start first,
Yeah.
which was really important because you get the first delete off, and that actually just scales out into the game. Because once he goes into the Destiny, he can't actually pop off your starter before you can actually get rid of it yourself. And on top of that, you're able to essentially overwork Destiny's skill by not allowing him to use the start of right phase retire because he's deleted and only undeletes when he's actually striding.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you have any other comments about the game, how you feel, or like how you wanna? What's your plan for today? How you're going forward through the tournament?
Luck sack all the way.
Luxai.
Nice. And is there anything you'd like to say to the people back at home in Malaysia?
Hi, people in Malaysia. I will try my best to take the crown home.
That's very good. So we're going to be rooting for you. Hope you have a nice day today at the World Finals. And I think, honestly, we were talking about it on the stream already, but I think the leaders are a very strong pick for today's tournament.
Yeah,
So
I think the most common, let's say, deck that you will see in the setup will be deleters. So because it's quite strong, and it has a good matchup against almost everything, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's quite strong though. But we were just talking about like you get purged, but the good thing is you didn't get good purge.
Yeah,
You deleted everything, so that's a
yeah.
good thing.
Yeah.
So-
Are there any matchups or players that you're afraid of, or like players that you're excited to play against for today?
Maybe not, because I don't know most of them.
Mhm.
Maybe some Singaporean ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's quite interesting to have a lot of players for once, right? Because
Yeah.
before it was always so small.
Yeah, maybe 10 to 12 or something.
Yeah, now you have like over 80.
Yeah,
It's just like so
yeah.
much.
Yeah, it's
Exciting.
definitely. It's really exciting. So
We were also going to see you for Springfest, I guess, with a team again, right?
Yeah.
So you already
That's
have your
nice.
team set up, everything prepared, or you're still
Maybe-
considering?
Maybe not, because I'm a hot item there.
Oh,
Everyone. Yeah.
Oh.
see how he's going off. He's already like, you need to be good to play with me in a team.
Yeah.
That's a good thing though. As in like you want good mates.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, in 2016, you actually topped Team League in Malaysia
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah,
So that's a definitely really nice achievement. We're going to be trying to take it back next year, this year technically as well.
Technically.
Yeah.
But this year's Team League, if you want, you don't go anywhere. You just.
That's true, but it's still a very fun.
Yeah, it's a fun event. You
Yeah.
can get to play with your friends. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
of course you get a lot of prizes, which we will talk about in just a minute. But do you want to add any comments or anything about your preparations? Did you
Any
just play a
shout-outs?
lot? Any shout outs to like teammates that you played with to prepare for this tournament?
Maybe my friends back in my country, Malaysia. Also, especially thanks to Aiden, Mr. Mother Yuan, who borrowed me the decks. And yeah, I think that's it.
All right.
All right, thank you very much.
So thank you very much.
Yep.
Yeah, please let's have some more fun. Thank you.
Best of luck for the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, best of luck. Maybe we see you later today at the end of the day. Make us proud. Make Malaysia proud. So yeah, I wanted to talk when I move a bit back here. There you go.
Yep.
I wanted to talk a bit about the prizes that we get for BSF. So
Yep.
BSF is of course called Bushiroad Springfest, which you may have known from the past as in being the team league event.
Yep.
Of course, as Wang Chi just said, there's no real like continental finals or world finals
Yep.
at the end, but there are some nice prizes to it. So this time also, which is cool, the team tournaments are not just for Cardfight Vanguard. They are also for
that's
Vice
actually
and for Body
the
Fight.
very first time, which is very exciting too.
Yeah.
So one of the things that you'll be able to get even before the actual Team League regionals begin is that you do have the shop challenges where you can also get the winners promo cards. That's also very exciting because that gives you a certain feeling of preparation. Let's say you're not that ready for regionals just yet, but you can go to the shop challenges just to get some preparation for the day itself.
Yeah, so the job challenges can be, let's say, a one-on-one matchup, and then the first 3 will get a coupon, which you can then exchange for the special promo card, which is, of course, SP, and you can get them at the events then where it's the Bushiroad Springfest then. Also, you will have top 8 pin badges again,
Yep.
which is nice to collect because you can just open your jacket and be like,
Look at my achievements.
look at my achievements. Then
Yeah.
the top 4 will actually get all play mats. So the entire team, that's 3 times 4.
Yeah, it's not
will
just-
get
not just
play
one
mats.
person.
No, it's not just one person. You cannot call a captain and just, the captain gets a play mat for
Yeah.
everybody. So everybody gets a play mat, and
On top of that, we
on
also...
top of that, pins are boring, isn't it? So the top 3 will get medals.
Oh.
How cool is that? And of course, a champion's PR card.
Yep, so that's very good. This is something kind of similar to what we have today for Worlds as well. We do have the participants all get their own versions, like the game that they're representing, they get the promo card for their game. So it's kind of similar where the champion team will be getting promo cards
That's
for the game that they're playing for. So that's
Yeah.
definitely very exciting.
Also, from my understanding, there's also a participation playmat, but the design
is
is
there
yet
now?
to reveal. Yeah, there's like awesome, cool prizes. I think there must be something if we don't have finals. So of course you will have a lot of prizes.
Yeah, so
which
just
is
like
awesome.
before-
And of course, again, free to enter.
Yeah.
Everybody can join in. If you are from Europe or from Asia, America, wherever you play with your locals, just come over, have some fun, join with your team, and then just win. Just
Yeah.
have some fun. And at that time, this is also out.
This is
The
technically
Awakening
something...
Zoo, man.
That's true. So it's going to be a quite different
You know,
format in
guys,
general.
it is already good that we don't have the new cards in there. Like
That's true.
I mean, you saw that maybe from the Japanese format already. These are
Yeah.
like insane support cards.
Yeah, this set is going to be... It means quite a lot for the meta in general, I think, as
That
well,
is true.
because every single clan that's supported gets quite a lot from this set. Great Nature is just overwhelmingly strong with the new GR as
Yeah,
well.
that is true.
It's actually ridiculous.
That
the new
is
Big
true.
Belly is essentially a Crayon Tiger, and that gives the deck even more
Wasn't
options.
Big Belly always cool? I mean, come on, it's Big Belly.
Pretty much. And
Yeah.
then on top of that, Mega Colony gets an entire new playstyle, and that's just incredible as well,
Yeah.
because Mega Colony has always been...
Oh.
Yep, definitely.
And
it's
last
also
but
looking
not-
like a
yeah,
good
but
pick
last but
for-
not least, we have. This comes interesting when our new set comes out by
Isn't
next
this
week.
a similar art as the Grand Fest that happened in California
Yes,
this year?
that is true.
Yeah.
But I mean, with our waifu in the middle, that makes it more interesting because Support for Her is coming out by next week. I
Yep.
mean, if you're now attending one of the sneak previews on this weekend, I hope you have some fun there because, of course, Zoo all the way, like I said. This is some great
Yep.
support coming up for this clans.
Yeah, there might even be
So-
some people that are watching this in their shops while doing the sneak peek at the same time.
Yeah, I hope so. Make it trending, like BCS Finals, hashtag on Twitter, on Instagram, wherever you like. Make pictures on it, just hashtag it.
Yep, if you're
Share it
doing-
with us. Maybe we can see it somewhere on social media later. Of
Yep.
course, there will be also pictures from us here and videos, everything will be here from after the event is over, being uploaded to the website itself. And of course, some sort of like counter, not the counter, like ticker, like who is doing what, who is winning, who is the top 8, you know.
Oh, yeah, of
so
course.
everybody's keeping occupied and you know what is going on.
Yeah,
Of
one thing I
course-
think to note,
Please.
just an important thing for the people that are here watching the Vanguard content, is that for the other games, including Vice Schwartz and Luck and Logic and Buddy Fight, even though we will be switching the streams, we will try to keep going and like let you know how the Vanguard rounds are also proceeding over time as well. So that's just a little word of note, so that
Of
people
course.
always know who's in the top 8,
Yeah.
who's going
Because we know
forward,
that you
etc.
will only see the Vanguard rounds now now till around 5, which is like
Yeah.
lunchtime, I say, our lunchtime.
Yeah.
I think the others are taking breakfast at that time.
Most
But
likely.
I hope you have a wonderful breakfast with some cereals, having some fun in your pajamas, like some PJs, OJs, there you go. And looking us here from home and having some fun. But of course, we will keep you updated as in who's going where and who the top players are in the other matchups, because there are a lot of good players also in other games. We have
definitely.
a lot of good White Schwartz players here.
A lot of good Buddy Fight
Austin
players
is again
too.
in Buddy Fight.
Yep, once
I don't know
again.
how he's doing. He's maybe there somewhere cheating, like, hey, I'm winning, maybe.
No.
It's Austin, you know.
But
Of course, also Lock and Logic. I think there are a lot of good UK players there, which won directly in Huddersfield when the finals were there, and then after his, let's say, final opponent, who came second, did travel all the way to France just to win that tournament there.
Wow.
And the good thing is, his opponent then, which was Russell, was of course not the opponent then in France, because he said, you know what, just have it, because I already have my tickets.
Yeah.
But we also have, like, from Europe, Dewey here, which is like one of the best French players.
Yeah.
As in,
There are a
he's
lot of big
traveling
names,
everywhere.
actually,
He's
yeah.
going everywhere. He's going to Germany, to UK, to France, of course, which is his home country.
Yep.
Everywhere. Also, a lot of good players from Mexico and America and the Philippines.
Definitely. Yeah, we just saw like Wang Chier being one of the representatives of not only Malaysia but just Asia as a whole, because he's such a consistently topping player. He's a really big name in the community as well.
If you look on the website and see all his achievements, you just see always like 2017, 17, 15, 15.
Yeah.
Everything everywhere, which is just like really good, because I mean that shows how good this guy is. And then he's again here, now being like representing his country.
And winning round one on
And
top
winning
of that,
round one as
on
well
the stream.
against Max, who is like so good from the Mexican city.
Yep.
It's like it's a really insane first match.
No,
I'm
it's
not sure.
definitely very
I'm not sure yet
exciting.
who the second like round will be.
Yeah, but I'm hoping it's just as
we'll
exciting
see.
to see. The thing is, even though we have a lot of big names that are here, both for Vanguard and the other games, there are a lot of fresh faces too, and I think it's important to note that as well, because it's really like, even though they don't have that many achievements to their name yet, this is their chance to make a name for themselves, and I think that's the really important part as well. So
Good. Okay. So I just asked, we will go into a short break. So you will see a nice image popping up.
Yep, and then we'll be back right after that.
And we will be back to round 2.
Yep.
So please enjoy.
Don't go
Keep
anywhere.
around with us. Don't go anywhere. Like I said, get some OJ or some coffee and have some fun with us. We will be right back soon.
Yep, we'll see you around. Welcome back to the stream, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be bringing you round 2 of the BCS Grand Finals for Vanguard. So, once again, I am Chris, together with Sasha, and we will be bringing you the commentary for the second round of the Vanguard Finals.
We have some interesting new matchups, I heard.
Yep, so we have some...
Yeah. Introduce them.
Okay,
Please.
so we have an experienced face that I think a lot of people will recognize, and one of the fresher faces that isn't as well known just yet. So we're going to have Andy Liu representing Australia, who's going to be playing Overlord once again. So we're going to see it back to back. So he's going to be representing the Australian community. I've heard
Didn't he
that
had an achievement last year as well?
Yes, he did. So he was, I believe he topped at least top 8, if not won the Australian.
I think so, yeah, it was Australian like top 8 or at least last year. Yeah.
And then this year, he not only won the Australian qualifier, but he came second in New Zealand as well. So he's been going really hard this year.
Yeah, that's true. That's
traveling
true.
around just for the sake of like practicing and getting ready for Worlds as well. So his opponent, however, is going to be Taylor Taba. He does not have as many achievements, but he's going to be bringing us a very exciting deck that I've been looking forward to seeing, which is going to be Thavas, as you can see on the screens right now. So on the left, we have Andy Liu playing Overlord and Taylor Taba on the right playing Thavas.
So just to say, he won the Honolulu one, I remember, from the tournament. So as you know, like where he achieved this victory. So we're going to see them waves, man. I hope they can serve them so much as we're going to see attacks from the Tavas going off.
Yeah, this is going to be very exciting because this matchup is very interesting because we do have, I think Aqua Force might need a bit of renaming. We might have to call it Resist Force from now on because the amount
that is true.
The amount of resist going on in the clan right now is
Isn't it
quite
from the new
ridiculous.
set as well that all these resist cards came in from it? Yeah.
So even though Overlord, is capable of getting rid of all the units, but if they've got resist, they can't be targeted. So the only way he's going to be getting rid of them is, things like the Overlord G-Guard that can, use an area of effect, sort of retire to get rid of the back row units. So that's the only way that he's going to be able to come around the resist.
Yeah,
so
for unexperienced players, just as you know, of course, why is he putting like his great zeros there? It's just to be able to attack. Because of course, the more waves that he attacks in, the more effects he can turn off later, basically.
Yeah.
So that's why I said surfing USA every day, because of course he needs to surf that waves, man. So otherwise he can get any attack straight. So we see 3 damage already.
Yep, he got the crit, which is really, really big right here. He has the title swing. He could potentially do this one unboosted for a 14k attack. He's going to go for the... No, he's going to boost it. It's going to be 21k. He does guard that.
There's a guard.
And the title will not go off normally because even after restanding, it will only be 9k, and his opponent is now at 11k from getting the trigger. So he goes into the glow heater, reveals the Overlord, meaning he's going to keep his 10k power. He's not going to go down to 5k as the skill would normally state. And so that's pretty good for him. It would have probably helped if he had been the player going first, because then he would have been able to fend off against these smaller pokes, because as you can see on Taylor's side of the field, most of his attacks are around 9k.
Yeah, that's
9k-ish. So if he was able to go first, that would have been a lot better for him. But I think even though Andy Liu had to soak up quite a bit of damage and, put up with that early aggression, I think it's still not the end of the world. He can still definitely bounce back from there and, just play it out before try to take advantage of the fact that the resist hasn't quite gone down just yet.
True.
They're still going to take some time. He has to go into the new Thavas to deploy all those resists. But until then, I think he's still going to be quite fine in this matchup.
Yeah, Andy's not doing that pretty much. We saw it's a deja vu like the match before, like his conroll going off, doing some effects, searching the cards that he needs, then swinging with his left and right side right here, going for that attack. Of course, right now he has some possibilities to attack, of course, and do some damage, getting rid of the cards which are, of course, giving him the more advantages
and you
later.
can see that he's
because
going...
the more he's going off, as in killing the rear guards that are in front, the lesser attacks he can do, the lesser waves he will get, and the lesser stuff will be happening.
Exactly.
So,
and I think it's also important to note that he went Vanguard on the rear guard, even though it was just a draw trigger.
That's true.
That's still an attack for Taylor. And I think it's really important to, when you're facing against Davos, to keep that kind of field control, even though, sure, you can't retire everything because of all the resistance going to be coming down. You can at least focus your attacks on it. Try to not let him take out, too many of your resources too fast. And as we can see, Taylor actually skips his ride to grade 3. Now, I'm not sure if he's actually missing or if he simply wants to stall and take first stride.
oh, so as in he maybe didn't want to G-assist, you mean? As in just ignores it? Or
No, in a sense that he doesn't want to give up the first stride
that's what you meant. Okay.
to Andy because otherwise he might be suffering quite bad.
I see.
So
I thought you were saying as in maybe he doesn't go for a G-assist because waving is, of course, no problem for him. But yeah, it could be.
yeah, there's a lot of different scenarios that could happen right now, and we can see 2 different grade 3s in Andy's hand. And looking at his deck list, one thing that I think is really interesting to note...
Are you going to spoiler that now? Why are you doing
think we
this?
can
Okay,
kind
just
of guess
spoiler it.
it.
Okay,
So,
go for it.
He does go into the Destiny, but in his hand we did see the end. And the interesting thing to note is that he does not actually play the cross.
That is true.
So it's just the end. And that's a really
See, that's a spoiler we didn't want to
interesting
share with
piece.
you guys, but now you did. Why you do this?
But it's a
Everybody's just
really
sitting at
interesting
home
thing
and
to
be
note.
like, I want to see that, but now you spoiled
Oh,
it
he
for
dropped
everyone.
it. He dropped it. It's there now. You can't blame me anymore.
No, that's true.
Yep, so now just confirming the drop zone. And so he did use the Destiny skill, and he's going to Sabreeze. That's a pretty big play because his opponent was great stuck. He didn't advance. He didn't rewrite either. So he will be going for the Sabreeze. This might be bad news for Taylor because he had
Checking
a
his 7 cards, of course, as in the last match.
Yep, so that was
Finds
the Overlord
nothing.
skill. Sadly whiffed, but this is quite important because at the start, we could see that Taylor was holding the game in his grasp pretty well. But right now, I think Andy is going to be able to bounce back quite strong. He does have all his counterblast face down, but as long as he has a Conroe grade 1 that he can use to give the counterblast, counter charge skill to his Vanguard, he should be more or less fine. So now we can see he's using the Evolute skill to retire a unit before it gets out of hand, punishing him for dropping that critical trigger as well, which is really important because now if we look at the field of Taylor,
Finds
it's
the
really
heal
not
trigger
looking
there.
that good.
Very
Yeah,
good.
That's really important for Andy right now.
Okay, gives the power to the right. I was thinking first he gives it to the left, but now he confirmed. So right side has 5,000 plus. No damage. Oh, that was a mistake. Because he attacked the... the right side. Now
Yeah.
the judge has confirmed what happens because that was a small misplay here. Because he attacked the right flank, so of course he doesn't need to check his damage, as in he doesn't get one. And now he flipped the top of the deck. So I'm not sure if this is game loss material, but I think he gets a penalty maybe. And there you go, the judge is
will
shuffling
shuffle his deck, yeah.
and maybe he gets some small penalty for it. It's quite
Possibly a warning,
possibly,
but
yeah, it's a
I don't
warning.
think it should go out of hand.
No.
It wasn't. I don't think it's anything too major.
Maybe he was a bit nervous as well for being on live streaming and anything, so maybe he
There's
didn't
always
pay
that chance.
attention.
Obviously, like you're not just like they already have so much pressure. They're representing their local communities in
That
front
is
of the
true.
entire world. But on top of that, on top of just like playing here in the stage, they're also on the live stream. So they're not just being watched by the players here, but they're being watched by the entire world. So we can see that now he will be taking the damage as he was supposed to. And now the final attack, let's see how he decides to cope with it. But it's not looking too good. He's going to check the skill of the Burning Horn Evolute just to check if there's anything that he's missing out. But so far, there's nothing too crucial coming out just yet because I believe the power stacking skill will only come through if he strides into an Overlord. And, well, Sabriz obviously is not one of them.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah, it's just your good friend Sabriz. So now...
I think he's just thinking if he wants to guard or not. So
Yeah. I think it's an important
I think
choice.
at this moment, yeah, he takes the damage.
Okay,
There you
mistake
go.
it. That's two. Ooh, that kind of hurts because that's two Adelaides
Yeah.
gone from his deck that are big combo
Okay,
pieces,
G
and
assist
there
then.
is the G
So I think it
assist.
confirms that he didn't had a grade 3 in his hand earlier when
Yeah.
he didn't G assisted. So, but he didn't want to go with it straight ahead, as in maybe I draw something later
Yeah.
with a trigger or something. Which I mean, he has a draw trigger or two, I think, in his damage zone right now. No, just one. That one that is a bit sideways
Yeah,
there
yeah.
on the lower. But yeah.
He fetched the new Thavas from his G assist. He actually had the choice between both of the grade 3 Thavases. That's an important thing to note. I think in this matchup, you definitely want to be riding into the new Thavas because it does give your field resist.
Yeah.
So now, as for his G assist choices, honestly, I think he already made the decision to get rid of the two critical triggers. I honestly think that was the right choice because the other pieces in his hand are way too important. He has the Adelaide in his hand, which is going to be basically enabling his multi-attacks. He's got the grade 1 that is capable of restanding the unit that she boosted for another multi-attack. And plus the Stride Fodder, which obviously he needs for this turn to try and bounce back. So let's see, will he go for the one and only Alexandros? He does. So this is the brand new GR for Aquaforce. Alexandros, this is going to be quite hype. So he's going to be able to activate the Thauas' skill to call down the Adelaide and give her the resist. So that's very important. And now he should be able to normally activate the Adelaide skill in order to Counterblast 1 and Soul Blast 1 to give it the opportunity to stand once again and attack once again. So,
Getting all his triggers, of course, right?
yep,
Yes.
definitely. So, and he also, important to note, both players have now Soul Blasted their Perfect Guards, meaning that the next time they use their Perfect Guard, they will be able to countercharge.
Of course.
So that's very good, especially looking at Andy. We can obviously see he hasn't had any face-up damage. That's quite problematic.
That is problematic. He cannot pay anything, as in he can just go for attack. So first attack goes to the right flank of Andy here.
Yeah, and the reason why is because Adelaide, her skill triggers when she attacks a Vanguard. So in order
True.
to not trigger her skill, you go for the rear guard in order to dodge the timing, and therefore you're able to restand her with Alexandros' skill and then get the massive power bonus on her as well.
That is
so this is a
true.
really smart play because he's able to maximize the potential of the deck.
First
He gets
damage is a draw trigger. Draws
That's very
one.
important.
Gives the power to the right flank, of course. There you go. Second check.
Critical.
Critical here, 5,000.
That's very big. We still have one more to go. And it's another Thavas. That'll be good for next turn.
Takes.
He gets the critical, so now he will, I believe he gave the power to the Vanguards. That will normally be a 16k Destiny that we're looking at.
Yeah. But he
So-
gives the critical he gave also to the right flank, of course. But
Yeah.
he didn't need it on his Vanguard, of course, so that's why the 1 damage came in.
Yeah.
But the 5,000 came, of course, on the Vanguard because he needs that power bonus.
Yeah, because that was actually a very smart way to
Yeah.
divide the trigger because
True.
this way he's forced his opponent to 4. Now he has a rear guard that's going to stand at least twice that he has to now take care of. And so, and now we can see that Andy's going to go for the G guard, but he cannot actually, I believe he shouldn't, yeah, he cannot actually use it in Al Griffin because it has resist.
Yeah.
So, at least that normally would be the case because it did give the resist from the Thava. So, there was a
Well,
confirmation.
second
So
attack.
now he gets his second attack with
With
the
the
Adelaide.
boost, of course.
Yep. This is looking very bad, actually.
It is.
This is that. It's such a simple thing. just splitting a trigger the right way can decide a game.
Of course.
It's unbelievable. But
that's what makes Vanguard interesting. Just smaller things. You can tweak everything you will do.
Yep. So now he perfect guards. So as we confirmed earlier, he does have the perfect guard in the drop zone. So you'll be able to countercharge
can flip it up again.
Yep. So he has to carefully choose while he flip up. And it's one of the triggers. I'm not sure if it was a draw. Okay.
It's a draw trigger.
It's a draw. And now he's going to use the grade 1 skill to count +1, soul +1, and stand the Adelaide once again. She will be losing 5k power. And let's see if he's able to just guard it. One card left in hand. That was so close. If he hadn't gotten that defensive trigger, that could have been over because he had the crit on that Adelaide and that would have ended right there.
Now he's thinking if he strides or not. There you go. Strides down.
Yep. So he's going to go for the Purge.
Going with 4 triggers, right? Yeah, 4 damage. So we're going to see 4 triggers. Going to check first, of course, the 7 top cards to find the card that he needs. Nothing. So sad. This is the second time that he didn't find anything. This is so bad for Andy. Because it really hurts because he cannot do anything at this standpoint. You just have 1 card in hand, 1 in the back row, which he cannot really use right now.
Yeah, at least he wouldn't be able to use
the only thing is the Purge.
Yeah.
That's the only thing right now that can help him. But 4 triggers, you know.
Yep.
We saw a lot of triggers in this match already.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
So there we go. There you go. Swings within.
Yep. He activated the Purge as well. Gave his opponent the 5th damage. So now Taylor is in quite the tight position. We're going to have to see how he decides to cope with this Purge because, you know, you can 3 to pass the Purge. But 3 to pass doesn't mean that much when you've got 5 drive checks going down.
That is true.
So we'll see. This is a very crucial step for Taylor because he played that last turn so well. Honestly, that was a magnificent line of play. So
after this strong play, it is sad to see him lose because of the Purge. But then again, the Purge is, like I said, such a strong card.
Yeah.
So he's overthinking what he wants to do in this standpoint. Because, of course, as I said, free to pass is cool, but not with all these triggers.
Definitely. So we get the critical down. That's 21. Considering 31.
31.
1 to pass.
Oh, God. First.
Oh, no. There's the first check.
Second,
the second check, no triggers.
Third
check, no triggers.
Fourth
Fourth check, no triggers.
Oh,
the
that's the
draw trigger. And there is the
final damage. GG. That was so close. The 1 trigger off, and he hits nothing on the last trigger. He gets his draw that he was needed.
Dear God.
Yeah, see, he's like, so
happy.
excited. I think when the interview comes now, just a minute, he's like just still so nervous.
Just
as in,
wow, jumping
that
in
1 trigger just helped him.
God,
the crowd was also just going insane as in finding nothing, and then finally the draw trigger comes in.
We can even hear the people right here in the crowd also going wild for that play.
We have some people in front of us.
Yeah, that was
watching
actually
the games
incredible.
With us.
So, but wow, like the level of gamble that Taylor had to take to 1 to pass the Purge, and it almost paid off. It came
Think
so
about it. If
close.
he wouldn't have hit that 1 trigger,
you would have probably. I think Taylor would have been able to take that game.
Yes.
But
if he wouldn't have to hit that trigger, that was just game over. I mean, that was the best possibility he had. But then, this is kind of a matchup like I have if I play Vanguard. I never hit any triggers, but then if I need to, that 1 trigger comes off, and then you just win. So we just hope that Andy can make it here if he doesn't trip over exciting for his victory just now.
Yeah, but
into the crowd. I already slide off a bit to the right.
Yes. So we'll have Andy joining us very
Let's
soon.
have a microphone already, so I don't need to spare mine
anymore.
anymore.
That's good.
So
that's definitely
that's
good.
really cool. So we have some time after the interview, so I think we can open our pizza box here.
Crack open a few packs with the boys.
Also show you the playmat which is in, which is really nice in artwork.
Yeah, but honestly, that was one exciting round. Honestly, we've had 2 back-to-back rounds with non-stop exciting content. It was an interesting twist of events because even though Taylor had such a strong early game, he had to G-assist for the grade 3, which is obviously quite unfortunate.
Also, it was nice to see that it confirmed that I said he didn't have a grade 3 in his hand when he was on his turn not striding when the sea breeze came in.
Yep,
so
and now we can see that
here's Andy
will be
Andy, are you not
joining us.
overexcited? Can you actually talk? Here's your microphone.
Oh, cool.
Please don't trip. Yes,
Yes.
of course you get your own mic. So we're sitting here, and you just trigger, and we're just saying 4th, nothing, and then you find that 1 draw trigger you need for victory. Isn't that just nerve-wracking, like making you stressed? And so you're like, oh, I need that 1 trigger. Come on, where is it? Where is it? With 5 triggers.
Yeah, and like at that point, I'm going like, well, first check. He got to 1 trigger, and I'm like, he's either gonna take the Vanguard or he's gonna go for 1. But then, like first check, thinking next one should come. Next, oh no, third, oh my god, fourth, not like this, and then fifth, oh thank God.
We were actually quite happy to see that, not happy, but as in for you, of course, since you're one now, that there was a G-assist situation where he didn't G-assist first to give you the opportunity for Sabreeze. And then he did G-assisted because he didn't find any draws and triggers or finding the grade 3 that he needed. That gives you a good advantage to give the damage that you needed for the purge at the end, to give him, of course, some counterblast just in damage to helpful. But then you had 3 damage, everything just flipped. You couldn't do anything in that stat point before getting new damage. So I mean, that is kind of a stressful situation, right?
Not really so much because like as long as like it was, I had to rely a bit on him not triggering more than once, but I did see quite a bit of triggers early on already. So at that point, and looking at my hand, in order for me to be able to stride, I had to keep a grade 3. But you know, if worst case worst is if he did get an extra trigger, I could have also got it, but then it would have been like really, I would have to get lucky myself.
Yeah.
But it was stressful and all, but after like the drive check, it was like, yeah.
And how did you feel during the last turn that Taylor was taking, during that Alexandro's turn? Because that one, the critical trigger that he put on the Adelaide must have been quite nerve-wracking because you had just enough to guard.
Yeah, it was. Like, as I said, if he got any more triggers, then I probably would have lost, but, you know.
Yeah, it worked out in the end.
I just had to play to my outs.
Okay.
That was my out.
So how are you feeling about the tournament itself as a whole, like for today?
Overall, I think the staff has done a great job at organizing, running this thing. You know, personally speaking, like I personally know how much effort it takes into running these events because I also, you know, am involved in organization to a certain extent back home. So, you know, so far, it's great.
Okay. And are there any players that you look forward to facing over the day? Any decks that you'd rather face?
I don't want to play the mirror.
That makes sense.
Okay.
And we might end up seeing that because we did have Overlord back-to-back rounds of 1 and 2 as well. So that's definitely true. So you did mention back at home. Are there any shout-outs you want to give? Anybody you want to mention? Local card shops?
Any training partners?
Shout out to my Lord and Savior, Wirab Cardfight, David Adi Pratama. He was one of the reasons why I'm here today through his intensive getting destroyed by him on a daily basis for like, you know, 2 weeks straight. Yeah, and here's the biggest shout out to everybody that are cheering on, watching the stream. Shout out to Good Games Arsenal, which is my own store, and everybody watching there. Cool.
All right. Anything for the Australian community as well?
Yeah, man. Watch me win.
Okay. Clap for that, please. Come on, crowd. Clap a bit.
All right.
So Andy, good luck to you. Hope we
Yep.
see you again on the stage later.
Yeah, possibly in the finals as well. Yep.
Yeah, so I had the wrong hand. I'm sorry.
You're holding the mic.
Yeah, that's it. So good luck to you. See you
Best of
later.
luck for the rest.
Thank you.
No worries.
All right. So
Awesome match.
yeah, that was quite something.
It was
honestly.
nerve-wracking. Like going with the top, like the move with the no Alexandro, then be like we go back, then like I said, G-assisting, which was a huge opportunity for Andy to give. To, you know, come back in his damage.
Yeah.
As in, he could just rely, I mean, his opponent, Taylor, could just rely on his waves, but didn't come up so well because of the triggers, like he just said. But then, you know, purging. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
It's the purge.
I think you could say we had several waves of aggression from each side of that
See what
match.
he did there?
Hey. So I think honestly that was a really exciting match to watch. There was a G assist involved, but in the end I think both players played it out to their best, and honestly we saw some very high level play. So congratulations to both Andy Liu for taking that round, as well as Taylor Taba for that amazing fight and showcasing Thabas as well. So I think before we take another break, we should be able to
I think you open some back. Can we open some packs? I think so, right? There you go. I got a thumbs up. So, you know what? Packs are exciting, but we should keep it calm and show the playmat first.
Yeah, definitely.
Because, you know, everybody can open packs, but people want to get excited, you know? So this is the wonderful playmat, as you see. You know, the nice fairy or like the fairy dragon that you have on the box set. I mean,
Zoa, yeah.
look at this. Isn't this nice?
Oh,
This just looks so insane.
so good.
Because I like the artwork of these.
Yeah. They're definitely really nice. And I think also we had one for GBT13. We had one with both Drachma
Yeah.
and Megiddo.
Yeah,
also
true.
very nice.
So these are in every SP pack, like boxes that you get at your local store where you're participating this weekend for sneak previews. So we have 2 always in these boxes.
Yep.
So one is mostly, let's say, for the winner, or you can raffle both away. And the second is a giveaway for everybody participating. So which is really cool.
Gives everyone a chance.
Yes.
I think that's a good way to keep up the spirit of the
Also,
competition as well.
for the promo this time, we have lovely, brilliant honey, which is the promo card for this pack.
Interesting enough, it is a Neo-Nectar unit, despite looking like a Mega Colony unit.
Yes. Also looks like a queen bee.
Yeah.
It's like so
Yeah.
cute.
Yeah. So that is the promo.
That is
for
the promo.
The
And
sneak
of
peek.
course, the packs, of course, share the same artwork, as the,
Yep. So this is the upcoming Awakening Zoo.
yes.
Very beautiful. Definitely
You
a very
can
good set.
participate in sneak previews this weekend, starting from Friday to Sunday.
Yep.
And then, of course, the pack will be releasing next Friday.
Yep.
So,
Exactly. So
do you want these 4 packs?
I suppose.
Or you want something else?
No, I'm fine with
No,
this.
fine, okay.
Nice.
I heard I have the better ones.
Oh no.
But I give you the honors. Please open your first pack, see what we have in there.
All right. Let's see. Just quickly crack it open. We do have a
I mean,
ZR.
for you people at home, like, do you know this different type of people, like, opening packs? I mean, you have the one just ripping everything. Then you have you being the nice guy.
Delicate.
So,
Maybe we can even zoom in on the cards themselves and quickly show what contains in this set. So
oh,
we do
look
have
at this
some
cute kitty. Adorable
great
balliness.
nature support. Some more of it
Matrix
as well.
Zebra.
Mega Colony as well. A very cute trigger for great nature as well.
Aw.
Mega Colony Battler G.
He's our
And
first
we
rare.
have some Dark Face support in the set as well. And once again, another Dark Face supporting card. So what's interesting about Dark Face in this set is that it's not only Dark Face as in the old archetype, but it's also Gridora herself that also counts as the Dark Face support. So that's a very interesting way that like the deck itself has evolved, I think. So it's very interesting to kind of expand on that. So I think you can take over and open up the next pack. Maybe
see.
pull something nice.
First of all, I have lovely kitty again.
Oh yes.
I just love this artwork. I mean,
It's
isn't
even
that
adorable
cute?
in the name.
Yeah. Then next one.
Oh.
Mr. Hero, our lovely panda for the battle, you see. Cute forerunner, I have to say. Badlock Star.
Hopefully this
Looks
doesn't...
like a ladybug.
Yeah, hopefully
Pretty
the
cool.
bad luck part doesn't happen to anyone in
Nah,
today's venue.
We'll see, we'll see. Again, this is Sleeper. Standard, oh god.
Bizarreness
This is like bizarreness, yeah. I mean,
definitely
this
right.
is bizarreness already in the artwork. I mean,
Yeah.
come on. And then next one will be
Once
Lighthorn Mutants. We know this card already.
Yep.
So why do we open the same packs? This is
I wonder.
This is funny. No, this is a different one though. Bulk Wasp.
Yep. Also Dark Device support.
Dark Device.
Yep. So far, pretty interesting.
Not so bad.
Pretty interesting.
Not so bad.
I suppose
Nothing too
I'll-
shiny so far.
No.
But you know, keeping it, how do you say, anticipation. Anticipation is everything.
Yeah. There's some interesting things in this set. We do have the ZR for the Zoo Nation as well. Definitely quite nice. One thing that I personally really like from this set is Musketeer support. That's a very cool thing to have. This card is actually very solid.
I know one guy who is very supportive of Musketeer at home, so I hope he's watching.
Aw.
Maybe you know who I'm talking about, but I can tell you later.
Possibly. Here we have a Stride Fodder as well for Dark Device. Once again, Bizarreness. Bizarreness himself.
Ooh, Musketeer.
One of the Musketeer draw triggers. Very good looking. And this is the Machining Perfect Guard. Also nice. And we have the first foil, which is a reprint of the Dark Face Critical. So that's quite nice. This was in GBT04 previously, but has been reprinted for all the Dark Face users. So that's definitely a very nice thing to have, and definitely a much needed reprint as well.
Yeah. So I couldn't wait. I opened already my pack, so I have
Aw.
a wonderful, cute-looking Forerunner for
Musketeers.
Musketeer. Cute Elma.
Yep.
Quite nice. Then next one will be. Let's see here.
One of the maidens.
Rene, one of the maidens. Flower maidens are also quite cool in this set, right? They get a lot of support for this. So next one is Mr. Clip Lesser Animal, which gives Success 2000 and a boost ability. Quite nice. Mr. Rhino.
Ooh,
Oh,
this
yes.
is a pretty important card. it does block your opponent from guarding, which
Yep.
is, well, not entirely, but
I mean, if you
partially.
take other Bushiroad games, this is like of your bodyguard.
Yeah.
Protecting you from all the enemy attacks.
Yep.
So then we will go, ooh, I'm sorry, draw Musketeer trigger.
Oh, once again.
Once again, the Twilight Matter. So Mr. Dark back at it again.
Yep.
And, ooh, a G-Guard. Which is
For
the
Mega Colony.
Morphosian. Yes, so Mega Colony. Quite nice. Also quite nice artwork. I like the wings, also the like waves on the wings as in, oh, I guard everything that's being attacked for. You
Definitely a nice
can
little
you think
twist.
about this card being played in the anime and just be like, ooh, this
Oh,
is going to
yeah.
be a huge thing, I guess.
That's true.
So,
That's true.
next pack, 2.
Yep.
You have 2 more?
Yep. 2 more.
I have also 2 more.
Okay.
So yeah, in this sneak preview, you will get 4 packs because, of course, you have, as you see, more cards in this.
Yeah, exactly. So instead of the
this
usual
packs.
5, there is a total of 7.
Yes.
So that's the reason for there being 4 packs. So once again, we do have Stationary Hero. Once again, the very solid Musketeer support. Honestly, I'm very excited to see more Musketeers over the upcoming tournaments. So
Mr.
here we
Rhino.
have Rhinos once again. Another Machining Trigger. And once
Perfect
again,
Guard.
the Machining Perfect Guard that we had earlier. And Bootcamp
Oh, look at this
Simric.
guy.
Oh,
This looks
definitely
like
quite
your
nice.
cat monk that you want to get your training going.
Yes, this is one of the honorary professor supports that is also in this set. So there's not just Big Belly from the Great Nature support that was supported. It's also honorary professor. So Chat Noir is looking pretty good.
Yeah, well, I like big bellies, man. Hopefully I get one.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so next we will have another cute little musketeer here.
Yep, the Musketeer
Which is
Stride Fodder.
Daphne.
The
Yes.
art is so nice on
So
this
cool,
one.
right?
Yep.
Then we have... Oh, this is not so good looking, but it is Vulgar Blister. So
Yes.
maybe he's so vulgar as he looks, but I'm not sure. Mr.
Oh.
Twinkle British. He looks
Oh.
like a cat from a cartoon. Like this fat cat from a cartoon being the boss of everybody.
Yeah,
like this
definitely.
is awesome. So next we have a critical.
This is a pretty important one too because this is a universal. It's machining, but it's an actually one that lets you stun one of your opponent's rear guards just as a critical.
Yes.
That's really, really nice, honestly.
Yeah, it is. It is. For a common, really cool.
Yep.
So next is okay. This is like cool critical. Not so cool. But okay.
Average.
So next one.
Once
Again,
again, the
the
machining
PG.
perfect guard.
And our last card is.
Oh, the perfect guard for Big Belly is definitely a quite nice thing to get.
This is quite nice. Yeah, I will put this in my deck definitely because this is a really cool, also looking card, but also effectful card.
Yep. So
So
definitely.
you know,
very
you
nice.
got a re. I got a double R. So does that make me better?
I suppose.
Well,
I
maybe
suppose.
your last pack is more interesting.
Let's see. Anything does. It's always a bit more exciting. So, let's get into this one. Will be the final one on my side. So, we have another Musketeer. This is the starter that we saw earlier. This is the Zebra. Once again, Vulgar Blister coming up time and time again. He's almost like our mascot.
Yeah, he is.
Once again, this is the critical trigger for Musketeers. We have the Rare Stride for Great Nature, one of the success ones. And the final card is just a rare, but this is the reprint of Mini Belly,
Mini Belly.
which is the Stride Fodder for Great Nature. So this is a reprint from GBTO2, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So it's been quite a while on this.
It's quite a while. It's a long,
Yeah.
long time ago that we saw this cute little fella.
Yeah, that's true.
So I have my last pack. I hope this is a good pack for me.
Yep.
Let's see. This one we already know. For me, right now, best artwork I saw today. I really like this artwork.
Yeah, it's so nice.
So then we have, what's this? Machining Backworm.
It looks like it's come from Dimension Police.
Yeah, it's just like he comes out of the darkness of Dimension. Maybe he was in a robo of Dimension Police.
Once upon a time.
Once upon a time, and now he says like, I come out of the shell to
Yep.
destroy everybody.
Yep.
Like, you know. But it's a starter, so I don't know what happened to D-Police. Because Different Fight
Whoops.
is known for D-Police.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Well,
so another bug,
I
which
love his art.
is
Look at his glasses.
Chrome Willarv. Yeah, he's like the cool guy. He looks like the guy from Kabui's deck.
oh, yeah,
The
yeah,
one
yeah,
with the
yeah, that's true.
sunglasses, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
a bug type, so maybe it's his brother in vain. Maybe,
Oh,
I don't
yeah,
know. The unknown brother. He just doesn't want to get named off. You know that one brother who doesn't get a family reunion
Oh, yeah, yeah,
invitation. Critical trigger again. The
Once
cool
again.
one.
Oh,
boy-
back to back again.
Back to back. Yeah. So I see something shining there.
There's
So
something.
this is our super kitty cat, and now
Oh, we have the new Dark Face Alcides. This is really, really cool. In the anime, we noticed that this is the one that usually gets pumped up by Zoa
Yes.
to hit for 9999999. And so, it's definitely a pretty solid card that goes really well together with the new Gridora. So overall, the Dark Face deck is looking very solid.
Yes.
So I think overall you did better than me from these packs.
Oh yeah, I don't know what happened to this card.
Oh
though.
dear. Oh no.
I don't know what happened to this card. No, I'm gonna leave this here. Don't worry. No, I cannot find it anymore. I take it out later. Don't worry.
Never mind.
So we will go to a short break, I think.
Yep,
There
and
you
then
go.
we'll be back for round 3.
Yes, for round
after
3.
That.
What do you think we're gonna see? Maybe
Honestly,
some more Kageros? There were a
I
lot
wouldn't
of
be surprised.
Kageros.
I wouldn't be surprised. I know that there are some Chaos decks running around, so I wouldn't be surprised to see those either. And then, again, Aqua Force is also popular, as well as the leaders. I think, honestly, there's quite a lot of things that we could potentially see, so
Yeah.
I'm very excited for
All right.
what's coming.
So we're gonna be back for the 3rd round soon, and maybe if we have some more time, we can open a second
Possibly.
straight 4 packs, and then see if you get back on your rarity streak, because
Yep.
I did quite well. So
Maybe.
see,
All right,
see
so
you later, guys.
Make sure
We'll
not
be
to
back
go
soon.
anywhere.
No, please stay with us. Welcome back to the live streaming here from the Bushiroad Championship Series Finals from Japan. We're back. I'm Sasha from Bushiroad Europe, together with Different Fight from Luxembourg. Can we tell where you're from? Do
Oh,
people
yeah.
actually know?
I guess not that. Well, I think most people do.
Well,
But
now you can swat him because you know where he lives.
Oh no. Oh dear. Oh no.
It's a Twitch thing.
Poor
so-
little Luxembourg, where there's like 3 people living.
Yeah, now we have an exciting match for you coming up. It is a Gear Chronicle, of course, with Pulsar against Shadow Paladin, which
Yep.
are Nicholas Andrew, which is from the US of A, against Nick Malas, the winner of Greece Athens.
Yep. So we can see on
Yeah, Nick's on the left.
Yep. And then we can see Nick Malice playing Shadow Paladin on the left.
Yes. A little side note, Nick actually had, Nick Malas, sorry, if I say Nicolas, it's his opponent. So, Nicholas, sorry. Nick had actually kind of the good against bad ending, as in good against evil, sorry, as Royal
Yep.
Paladin versus Shadow Paladin
Yep.
as his final match in Greece. So, kind of also interesting matchup because I think there are not so much of Gear Chronicles in this tournament. So, Pulsar. I like Pulsar. I actually love this kind of setup. Also, there's not a big hybrid, I think, in this deck list. It's just straight, straight
Zodiac Time
Pulsar,
Beasts.
Zodiac Time Beast build. So,
Yeah. And also looking at Nick Malice's list, this is something extraordinary because we've already seen 2 grade 3s go down. We can see in the drop zone, the Phantom Blaster Dragon Break
yes.
Ride. That is something that we don't normally see. And then he also showed us the Blaster Dark Diablo. So this isn't just Luard on its own. I believe it does actually play Luard itself, but it's really interesting to see what he's doing for this deck lineup. So, very interesting matchup. These are 2 decks that people were questioning if we'll see them in Worlds or not, because in the end, both decks struggle quite hard against the Link Joker matchup, which is quite popular. Like with Luard, you can't actually play down that many units when everything is occupied. You can't actually go through your combos. And then as for Zodiac Time Beasts, obviously you need your circles to do your combos. You can't, next stage is strong, but just doing next stage every turn isn't gonna grab you the win either.
oh yes. So there's a lovely shiny Diablo
Yep,
attacking now his Dogo.
yep.
So,
Gets the
he
critical.
gets a critical.
And the Luards, that
And
does
Lord
reveal.
itself. You see how his fist pumping, yeah, I got my Lord. I can ritual all day, and he's already to 4 damage.
Damn. So that's definitely pretty nice, but such an interesting grade 3 lineup. I don't think I've ever actually seen this before from any other
Oh
tournaments.
dear,
and that's
there
really
is
exciting.
our Chrono Jet G
Yep.
coming down, and he's striding with a not serpent, sorry.
That's
What's the name again?
Quetzalcoatl?
Yes, there you go.
Yep. So we can see that Nicholas
Pegasus
Andrew will
coming
be
down.
taking the first stride with the split Pegasus.
Yeah.
Time leaping, using the Jet G skill to time leap the Chrono Dran. Gets himself to transit. So now he has 2 transits on the board. That's going to be quite good. He can convert those into soul and cards in hand. And so he's going to be able to use the Dran skill as well to get himself yet another unit. He chooses the Chrono Dragon G. And that's definitely looking like a solid. This is usually your staple Zodiac Time Beast
Yeah, it
first
is.
stride turn. I
This
think
is a straightforward, matchup from Gear Chronicles saying,
Yeah.
okay, I call this, do that, do some leaping, get some Pegasus. Of course, I pay for my effects, which his opponent just reminds him of. Flips
Yep.
off a
Next stage.
stage. Maybe a groovy setup already?
I have a feeling that we're going to be
I have a
seeing Groovy
feeling.
in this game because you wouldn't just flip up for no reason.
I mean, he has a groovy in his deck in his G zone, which are 2 pieces. Then he has two next stages, sorry, and 1 split Pegasus that he just hit. So no more Pegasuses.
Yep.
1 next stage is already flipped over, and
He does play the
could
gear
be-
next.
Could be.
Yep. So
Plays also some Phoenixes, 4 pieces in his G zone.
Yep.
So definitely some possibilities here.
it's a very interesting lineup. So he calls out the 2 gray 2s from his deck. So he's able to grab both the Duplex Dragon,
Yes, Draco Kid.
yep, as well as the Cruising. So it's definitely looking quite good for Nicholas Andrew on the right. So
Says
he
no
goes,
guard.
Yep.
Draco Kids.
He gets the critical.
That's a critical.
So again, he gives the critical to Vanguard and the another one
critical. Oh my
pushing
god.
Nick Malice to 5 damage.
5 damage.
He gets the stand, and that's a Luard. So he's already on 5. This game is going pretty fast, and you know, like Nicholas still has quite a lot of stuff to do. He's gonna use the cruising right now to get himself a card in hand. He gets the perfect guard. That's actually pretty much the best target in this scenario as well. So definitely looking very good. He uses the transit to put into the soul and draw himself a card. That's another card in his hand to guard for everything basically in the coming turn. And we have to see Nick Malice drop 2 grade 1s in order to protect himself. But luckily, even though, let's say, like we know he has a Stride Fodder, obviously, but he can go into the Luard, and you know later on he'll be able to stride without actually having to discard anything. So that's definitely very nice. Now he goes for the Aura Geyser Doomed. So this is going to be an interesting play, because he'll be able to add cards to his hand through the Doom skill. Also, through the Luard skill, he's going to be able to just essentially refresh his field a little bit. So it's definitely quite nice. Ooh, there comes the Owl. That's going to be... The Belial is going to be quite scary, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, from now on, it's pretty much always going to be going off almost every turn. And that's going to be definitely quite scary for his opponent.
Yeah, but let's see though. Is Nicholas doomed yet? We're not sure.
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
he can do some shenanigans still. I mean, he has a PG in his hand, which he just found, which is good. So he's definitely has some answers. Then if he survives this turn, like I said, this gives him the possibility to go into a Groovy, which he already has a next stage flipped over for.
Yep.
And then he could possibly flip over, let's see, a Phoenix maybe? Or
He
what
could
should
even use the Phoenix next
Yes.
turn, because thing is, his opponent is on 5 damage. He could potentially just go for a massive multi-attacking combo turn, which could actually prove to work out quite well. So he's already progressing through his battle phase, and so we can see he did retire his units already to plus just a little bit. And so let's see how he's going to proceed throughout this now.
Retires 3 units.
Yep. And
2.
reveals 2, so he's able to retire just 1 unit because he only got 1 grade 1 or less unit. So there is that. Now let's see how he's going to proceed through these turns, because he does have a fair bit of resources. His hand isn't the healthiest, I would say, but it's enough to still give himself the full field and still be able to give his opponent a barrage of attacks. Let's not forget that Nicholas is on 4 damage. So, you know, there's still, you know, it's not exactly the safe zone. I wouldn't say that he's perfectly fine in this situation. He does have a lot of cards in hand that he got from the transits, from all the plays from the previous turn, so I think he should be able to survive it, but what that means for his next turn, I'm not too sure of. So, we're going to see, Nick Malice is
Oh, Nick is thinking. Oh, okay. First
I love the
attack will be
expressions. He's
his
just
Giga.
always...
Nick is just a really nice guy. He's really kind. He's really funny. He is overexcited also, because I saw him in Greeks. He was like excited about everything. There comes a draw.
Yep.
Another draw in his hand though.
Oh, no more triggers. Those
But
check
he
the
had a
Morfessa.
draw trigger into a draw trigger to his
Yeah.
hand, which is sad, but it's kind of okay because it gives him 5k more shield, of course, for the next attacks that come
Yep.
in from Nicholas.
So we can see he's targeting the rear guard, which is a smart move, because in the end, like, there's no reason to give a Zodiac Time Beast player more face-up damage just to make them, to let them do their combos.
Of course, at the end, putting the 2 owls back below the deck, which is the common, like, you know,
Yeah.
effects that you head off before giving the turn over to
Yep.
your opponent. So stands up everything, draws. Now, where is his stride? There you go, a Chrono Jet G.
With
giving
that
up
beautiful hot
four
stamp.
side. Oh, there's a next stage. He's thinking.
He's
No,
considering.
come on. What do you do?
It's going to be the gear
Gear
next.
next.
I think that's a solid choice. Like, honestly, I'm having trouble finding what wouldn't have been a solid choice for him in
I
this
mean, if he
scenario.
now uses his gear next, he can possibly go like also. Again, I'm just with Groovies, but I like Groovy as a card. So I mean, he could go Groovy next turn and just do a combo of next H and gear next with both, which is possible. I mean, it's shenanigans that he can do. But we will see. Draco Kid is now on the board as well on the right flank.
I like how the way that Nick Malice is like shuffling his hand. It makes it almost look like it's his deck. Like that's how many cards in hand he has. It's quite something.
Maybe he got the wrong clan. He found maybe it was OTT, but at the end he saw Shadowy, you know, flying over his board. So
yeah. Although I mean these days, Shadow Paladin's definitely not short of hand advantage.
No,
in
I think
comparison.
Lord is still a very straightforward deck. You know what effects he will do and can do with it. Of course, Nicholas here paid for his gear next, so we will definitely see a restand once he hits that attack off. But still gonna drop some cards.
Yep, and there goes the Unicorn as well. That's going to be quite scary because that is a multi-attack enabler. So we're most likely going to be seeing, as you can see, he attacks and boosted because he's going to be using that Unicorn to get himself another attack, and that's going to be quite frightening. So hitting him with the Unicorn, using the skill Countless 1, he's going to be able to look at the top, I believe, 5,
There's another
if
Draco
not
Kid.
6.
We see it on the far left. There's a crit trigger.
Okay, it's 5. Oh no, that's the Manish coming through. That is going to be getting quite a bit of power on top of that. He's going to be trying to push for game here because I think he thinks that he's ready for it, that the game could be ending on this
Gear next
turn.
hits off. So let's see how many triggers he will find on his flips.
Yep, Nick Malice,
Nick is
considering
thinking.
his choices, what options he has. Let's see, he's
Oh, is he
hovering over
dropping?
it.
Oh, he's dropping a lot of cards. So we have.
Ooh. Wait, was
Is
that
it
one to
one
pass?
or two pass? No, one?
Was it one?
I think it's two. I'm
I
not seeing
believe
a
so.
two. There's a perfect guard.
And nothing else. Okay, so that
No,
was a
it was a
that
two-
was a one to pass.
it
It
was
was
a
a one to
one
pass.
pass.
And in the
Oh,
end,
there
that
it is.
was the end of the
GG.
game.
I was not sure from the glare it was a two pass, but
Yeah, that was a bit of a like
I think two pass
was
supposed to be more secure. But of course, we don't know what his hand was. Maybe just wrapping one more card would be more secure for him. But then he was like, okay, just one pass. But to be fair, one pass on 5 damage is
a little bit risky.
Like, you know, it's kind of like a bargain. If either
Yeah.
you win or you don't win that eBay auction. It's like the last minute of eBay auctions, you know. As in, do I get that card now from eBay? I just want to put $50 on it. Oh, there comes that one last second guy who takes it off. So Nicholas won with Gear Chronicle.
Yeah, I think he played very solid, honestly. Like, every decision he made, I think, was pretty much correct. Like, he amassed his hands pretty well. He was able to survive the last turn. And, you know, in general, just representing the New York community really well. We forgot to mention that Nicholas is representing the New York community. He has been topping quite a lot, honestly. I believe he topped in 2015 and 2016, and as well as this year. So,
Also, it was
a
just
very
a straight,
well-respected player.
Yeah, sorry, it was also just a straight Pulsar build. It was not that. I'm more used to the Zodiac Pulsar kind of hybrid builds, but this was just a straight Pulsar, let's say more aggressive build. And I was going off with Groovy because Groovy is such a cool card. But of course, he could go into Groovy, flipping over Gear Next, and then doing both advantages together.
Yeah.
But of course, he didn't need that. He just go one Gear Next and just win straight forward.
Yeah, that was
But then-
enough for him to take it.
Yeah, but then also both decks are kind of just straightforward decks, as in they kind of autopilot themselves. You don't need to do it as much. If you're used to how you play them, you will definitely know what you're doing, and that's why this game was also so fast, as in both know how their decks are executed. I mean, the Owls are just the coolest thing ever for Shadow Paladin, of course, and quite fun matchup, but also the more straightforward matchup.
Yeah, and I think for Zodiac Time Beasts, I think one of the really amazing things about the deck, especially before the Link Joker support came along, it was one of the most dominating decks simply because it could easily drop its hand and just go full on aggression and then make so much advantage throughout the next few turns that it would be so hard to even punish them for committing that hard.
Yeah.
And so that's why Zodiac Time Beasts, it's such a strong deck, but now these days in the current meta, it really depends on the matchups because the moment you run into Chaos, it's an uphill battle.
That's true. But then, match was so short, we didn't see any cool strides, we didn't see any Groovy, we didn't see any Phoenixes, we didn't
I wouldn't say they're not cool. I think you're not giving enough credit to your
there are the cool strides that I want to see in this matchup, you know, as in, we're missing something, but
think
we're
it's very
waiting on the winning player. There he comes.
Yep, so Nicholas will be joining us for a quick post-round
There's
interview.
our New York hope, Mr. Nicholas. Will you join us on stage, sir? Join us here. You think it's cool? You got your own mic as well. There you go. So Nicholas,
here we
you
have
won. Congratulations with a straight Pulsar build. Just straightforward
Zodiac Time
shenanigans,
Beast.
attack, Zodiac Time Beast. So how do you feel? Exciting?
Oh, of course, honestly, after my first game that went into time, and I sat there for like an hour riding the snake, sitting there, it's kind of like nice riding the correct level 3 playing a normal game. Yes, I know I double critted him, but I felt like I was able to pull off more moves normally. At least.
Yeah, but then, like I said, it was a also set to different fight. It's kind of a straight matchup. You have your deck, which is straightforward. You know what you do. You know what you have to pull. You know what your cards are gonna happening. And then Nick also just a straightforward. You know, making them owls play, making some fun, putting the owls bottom of deck. It's your turn again. But then, of course, you had some fun with your gear next. You had some fun with your super awesome Pegasus. So, I mean, it was kind of a straightforward matchup. It was either him or you. So it was kind of fun to see, actually. So how did you prepare in New York? What did you do in preparations for it? Are you just so good in this deck because you know it already for the long time that it's out? Or did you eventually change something to a matchup that you can run into here?
More or less what I really wanted was I thought I was going to see a lot more Link Joker. I haven't yet. I play more Manishes just because I want to set up the split Pegasus play before they can lock my front row, depending on whatever Link Joker matchup I'm playing against. So that's more or less how I switched it up. And then I play the Pegasus as the one-off now, just because that was the Manish number I was playing with. So I like having that combo tech just in case I needed to win.
So I have a personal question here as well. So you did take Zodiac Time Beast for the World Finals, but how do you feel the deck is currently competing in the current meta when we've got Chaos and Overlord running around everywhere? How do you think it fares in this current format?
Honestly, I feel like my worst matchup right now is Luard.
Okay.
So I was glad that when he didn't ride the correct level 3, I was like, okay, I should be okay going forward. Overlord, I feel like it's about a 50-50 game. Link Joker, if I set up before they do, I feel like I'll have the advantage going forward. But it really depends who strides first. But my early game should be better than theirs most of the time. I know my Dram will always get locked, but that's all you can do about that.
That's true. So even though the meta isn't exactly favoring Zodiac Time Beast right now, you still feel confident in the deck taking it to today's competition.
Yeah, I would say that just because I feel like it doesn't have a bad matchup. Worst matchup I feel is Luard, but I still win up.
Yeah, so it's definitely very important. So, do you have any shout-outs you'd like to give to people back at home?
Well, first one would definitely be my friend Michael Chung. Call him Sean. He's definitely helped me out a lot, teaching. He helped me. He actually showed a lot of the deck list. He showed me what I should have played, and then I tutored around a little bit. So I appreciate that. And then everybody else just back at home, I really do appreciate all the help out. You know, just play testing, honestly. Joey, Mike, Mar, even my friend Lerong, all of them just helping me out. I really appreciate that.
All right, so how do you feel about the rest of the tournament going forward?
If I play against Overlord, I feel like I'll be okay. If I play a lot of Link Joker, I'll be okay. I really don't want to see any more Luards. I really don't.
Yeah,
You
that
kind of
makes
bored
sense.
with the matchup, or you cannot see it anymore?
I just feel like it's a bad matchup because once they start having the engine of drawing too many cards, I draw cards, but my engine starts sputtering a little bit compared
It's
to
an
theirs.
uphill
where it
battle
keeps-
after that.
Yeah.
Maybe saw Nick just shuffling his hand like it was his deck because he had so many cards in his hand.
Yeah,
It was
he
just
went
fun
from
to
1
see.
to 9. It's just
Yeah,
like
it's so insane. Maybe he has the wrong clan. He should play OTT instead. And just go full hand. You know, it just doesn't even care. So, anything particularly look in the future as for releases? Like you really like?
So I will say the Dustarada, because I do play Gear Chronicle, was one of the biggest things. It was like, I understand why the cards are absolutely ridiculous that way. So I was kind of glad they did that after looking at it. But yeah, set 14 is looking really good, depending. The new Luard's really good. I might consider playing after the new set. And I'm hoping Gear Chronicle does get better support in set 14. I don't know if it's going to be Zodiac Time Beast or Time Lead. That's more or less what I'm looking to
Obviously
see.
soon. I mean, right now we have Zoo coming out, which will be your Great Nature Hate after. But we will see. We will see.
Yeah. I
So-
mean, Mega Colony is going to be really good. Don't
Yeah, of course.
interesting.
Anything you want to say before we thank you? And of course, you can prepare for your next round.
Oh, no, I do appreciate it, guys, for having me up here. Honestly, it's really cool coming to Japan here.
Oh, you're
winning a
welcome.
trip, and yeah, it's awesome. And I actually got asked to interview.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it, guys.
Best of luck for the rest.
Good luck. Thank you. Sorry.
Thank you,
Best of luck.
guys.
Thank you very much. So yeah, nice match.
Yeah,
I mean,
so-
straightforward, lured, Gear
I
Chronicle.
wouldn't say the Luard was the most straightforward. I think Nick Malice, it was a very interesting deck build because he did, as we saw, run the Phantom Blaster Dragon
Oh yeah,
Break
of course. The
Ride.
deck build was
And the-
interesting because it was
yeah.
different than what you're used to. Because usually I think Shadows are more like 4-4-4 everything, but this had 1 pieces or 2 pieces of just slight tweaks which
Yeah,
you
there
don't
are some
see
things
too
in
much.
there. Yeah, they're definitely, the deck list sheet is definitely a lot more full than the most of them that we would see.
Yeah, I think if he goes with his main deck, I mean, we have it in front of us here, which you don't see, but it is almost full page going also backwards, which was before only for the G zone, but now
Yeah.
it's going with the main deck. So, we will go to intermission soon.
Yep.
I think we will open some more packs now. as
Yep.
a last treat for you guys. And then we will go to intermission, and we will have a short break. Then we come back at around 12:30, which is our local time then here, which are half an hour, with
Yep.
the next round, which is round 4 and 5. And then we will go straight to the finals of Luck and Logic.
Yep.
So who will go first this time? Should I go first?
I guess you can go first.
All right, I go first. So
All right. So
you know, this is the awesomest part about this stream. I can just open packs. This is like.
yeah. Yep. All right. Go ahead.
So I did good on my triple rare.
Yeah, the first-
It is somewhere safe.
Somewhere.
No,
Somewhere.
I put it back out. Don't worry. Don't worry. He knows.
That I do.
Please defend me, please. So, our first. Oh, we did saw that one before. So we have our. Oh, sorry, my fingers there. So Alma again. Then we will have our Matrix code Zebra. Maybe Neo is in search of that zebra
Possibly.
from the Matrix. We don't know. Then we have Tricky British. I mean,
We did see him
do
before as well.
British really looks like this? I'm not sure.
Oh dear.
Maybe there's maybe one in one game, but yeah. Okay, so Marionette Musketeer, great card. Then again, our wonderful
Machining
Tree
trigger.
Hopper, the good trigger. Then another panda, so a new one. I mean, Body Faction Maox.
Yep.
Cool guy. Gives also a good ability in red when you boost his attack, of course once per turn, not too much. And the last one is
Oh, Sansan Mango.
Sansan Mango. So if you're playing in Springfest, right? This is the card you're looking for to give you the summer spirits.
Ah, yes.
Standing the mangoes.
All right.
So right, Chris, your turn.
All right. Let's
Do
go
us
over
proud.
these.
Do us proud as in, having better cards than I did. Really.
We do have a new starter that we didn't see before. So this is a new Nectar starter for Bloom. So the reworked Ozu. She used to be the starter back in the day, but did get reworked. Now we do have the Promu Larva with those beautiful sunglasses. Yet another Trickle British. We have Yapun, so who is the essayist.
It's nice artwork though, with the painting.
Yep.
Everything.
Does net you extra cards as well, so definitely a nice stand trigger. Here we have a critical for Nectar, a very interesting skill because it's regarded as a normal unit instead of a trigger unit in the drop zone, which is really important, both in rearguard and guardian circle as well, but that's really important for how, the clan works. It also has Musketeer in the name, so it basically is like a jack of all trades for the clan, so it's definitely a very nice thing to see. We have the reprinted Padmini, which is the Stride Fodder for Nectar, and finally, we have the Perfect Guard for Nectar.
Nice one.
Yep, so off to a good start for me at least. So there we go, it has Bloom in the drop zone as well.
It was a good start.
Good
Let's
start.
see if I can
Good
keep
start.
up.
Not complaining.
So, I will keep up, of course. You will see.
Do your best.
So we have Lipset. I think we didn't saw her yet,
No, I
right?
don't think so.
Promotion made in Lipset. No, it's the first time we see her. Cool artwork. I
Yep.
mean, nice blooming girl right here. So next we will have, Machining Princess. I'm not sure if it's a princess, but it's definitely something. Then we have Ladybug again, Badlock Star. Cool guy. The Killer Ant.
Yep, this
I
time.
don't want this ant in my ant colony though.
Oh, no, let's
I'm not
not.
sure. I think my whole colony will just die.
Oh no.
Or burn to pieces.
I don't really want an ant colony to begin with,
No.
actually.
Then Umbra are critical for Nectar.
Yep. Oh,
There we have Kiara.
Perfect
one
one for
of the
Musketeers.
Musketeer. Yeah, there you go. I was a
Very
bit confused because my colleague is like calling White Schwartz.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Oh, we
it's
have something.
shining.
It's the heal trigger for Mega Colony.
The
So it's definitely
Shining
nice.
Snowwing. Nice card.
One of the new style of heal triggers where you
Yeah.
can actually bind this copy and another heal face up in order to, when you G-Guard obviously,
Yeah.
when you you can either counter charge or soul charge, so that's good. Like some decks prefer the counter charge, some the soul charge, some both. So most clans are getting this one by now, so it's definitely quite nice.
I think though this bug is like eating the hand of your lovely deep police right here.
Oh no, let's not do that. Please spare my beloved robots.
I mean, it says,
Eventually.
even the mechanical body feels the warmth of that light.
Please don't.
He's already scared,
Oh, no.
you see? He's already scared.
Let's not. Once again, we have the Musketeer support and the Bloom support that we have also seen. Here's a Stride Fodder for Machining Leafy. Very nice. Once again, we have Bagworm that we've seen before. A draw trigger for Great Nature. Next, we have the Rare Stride for Nectar. Very nice. And the last card that we have is just a rare, but it is one of the new Bloom supporting cards.
Also nice design though. Look
Yep,
at this.
definitely. Very nice artwork as well. Very nice.
Okay, next pack. I have this kitty we already saw earlier, but I like this artwork of it. Errant Zomali. Very cool guy.
Oh, Musketeers. We haven't seen this one yet.
Musketeer. No, it's a new one. Fernuri. Is it pronounced like that? Fernuri.
Fernuri, maybe?
Fernuri. Of course, a cool card though. Then Mr. Rhino again, blocking all the attacks of your opponents. Yapoo coming back
Yapoo.
as the best painter for Great Nature.
Yep.
Musketeer crit trigger.
Yep.
Rachel. Then we have Maiden Purcell. Nice
Yes,
card.
One of the Bloom supporting cards.
And last one.
Oh, Mr. Antero is back at it again.
Yes.
So
I like
he's-
this guy.
He's become a G-Guard now.
Yes, I like this guy. I mean,
Poor
he
guy.
becomes from... What poor guy? I mean, come on. G-Guards are important.
Yeah, no, I mean, poor guy, because he got turned from grade 2 to kind of not really existing to finally being back as a G-Guard.
Yeah, but now he's grade
Definitely nice.
4. I mean,
Yeah,
come on.
that's
He gets
true.
some more grades.
A little bit, a little bit.
A little bit.
All right, so moving on. This is my second last one this time around. So once again, we do have Verneri. Here we have the Ellipsit, the Machining Princess, and the Zebra once again. I feel like most of the commons we've seen already, except for this one. So this is the new Great Nature crit that does let you use Slide into the Soul to give any of your units plus 3k. Definitely nice. I like his artwork
It's like
here.
stamping everything.
Yeah.
You know.
Here we have a Perfect Guard for Honorary Professor, so some more Chat Noir support. And finally, we have the Rare Stride for Mega Colony. I believe we've had this one already, if I'm not
I
mistaken.
think so. But you have 2 strides in your pack now. This is like, if it would be at a sneak preview now, I think he just wins because he has 2 strides. It's
Probably,
Like, but
probably.
Or you go deck out after 5 minutes.
Or that. Yeah.
Something like that.
One or
okay.
the other.
For me, it's my last pack now because I started. So, Mr. Panna again, Stationary Hero. Then, ooh, that's a nice girl here. I think that's a new one that we didn't see before. Miss
Oh, no, I think we did
Maiden
see her.
General. Yeah, I remember the name. Sorry,
Yeah, yeah.
I thought we didn't see her before. I'm short memory. Leafy. Then we have our. It looks like a gecko doing something. Like, oh,
Yeah.
he's clipping his nails.
He's only
I didn't even
part-time.
see that he's clipping his nails.
Or maybe he's oh yeah, I guess he's
No,
clipping.
he's clipping.
Yeah.
He's clipping his nails. All right.
We don't just commentate matches, we commentate
No,
cards as well.
Here's our lovely bird boss stamping all of our payroll races. I hope so. Then, that same one as you just said.
Yep.
So
and
the
there's
last one is
something
a
in the
bit
back.
more shiny. So
It's
we
the
have
Perfect
the
Guard.
Black Weevil
Perfect Guard for Mega
Perfect
Colony.
Guard for Mega Colony. So I have 2 Perfect Guards, is it? No, the one was a heal trigger, sorry. The
Yeah,
other
yeah.
one was a heal trigger, but cool Perfect Guard. I like this artwork. It looks
Yep.
like a nice, overpowered bug just protecting you.
Yeah, it's good
from
resource
everything.
management as well.
Yeah.
Gets you an extra card, maybe a counter charge, maybe a soul
Didn't you
charge.
learn? Didn't you learn that it's wrong to pick one dose weaker than you?
Oy, those be fighting words.
Adherence Mutant, Black Weevil. Cool guy.
So, this will be my final pack this time around. So, we're going to be starting off with the Musketeer Stride Fighter once again. Hoping we can get that gut pack this time around. That'd be kind of cool. Dragon Seed Spitter. I feel like we haven't seen this one
No,
yet.
this is a new one.
Yeah.
But like those dragon fruits.
Yep. Oh, here we have Mr. Shades once again. Oh, I
Mr.
really do like this
Mr.
art.
Dog looking in the future.
Just casually nibbling on it.
Yeah.
Oh, we have
This
Battler
one,
G.
isn't that also one that we didn't see before?
I think we saw it once,
can't
but this one is also
remember.
like, I forgot to mention, it's a stand that you can just slide into the soul to countercharge, which
Yeah.
is really, really nice.
That's true.
And now we have the reprint of Little Dorcas. So this is the Stride Fighter for Darkface from GBT04.
Yeah.
Very nice. And the final card is the Heal for Musketeers. So this is the Neo Deck Wall for Neo Nectar, but it does have Musketeer in the name. So as I mentioned before, this is one of the universal heals that you can use in the clan that pretty much every clan is getting now. So it's definitely very nice. So
I'm still on Triple R Street though.
that's true. That's true. That's true.
You can write now as a hashtag like Sasha better Triple R.
Oh,
No, get that still trending, guys. BCS finals. We're
Yep.
trending everywhere. I hope.
oh yes, worldwide. Let's get
Worldwide.
it going.
Also, different fight, of course, with his channel. Having some new followers because
Oh.
just follow this guy. I mean, come on, he makes you. If you never saw his channel, right, and you want to see something great as a starter video, just watch new player how to play 2017. You see,
Oh.
you see what a meme he is.
Yeah, I guess that's one way to
It's a good
introduce
starter
yourself.
video. But he has a lot of like deck explanation videos, a lot of duel videos, as in one player playing against each other. Like,
Usually the commentary ones,
commentary,
too.
that's it. Also, there was, which was really nice, the Road to Worlds videos that you did, going to Germany, then to the Continental Finals and everything, which was very cool as a kind
Thank
of
you.
a information of how this event was like, you know, managed by us and everything, which is cool. And of course, you going to the events in general and making videos about it.
Oh,
Also
thank you
in
very much.
Japan. So
Yeah.
of course, just give him all the support that you can give him.
I
mean,
thank you very much.
it's not that he needed, but you know,
No,
give it
honestly,
because he's
like,
a cool guy.
Like, I haven't mentioned it yet, but I'm very thankful to be here on the stage as well. Like, thank you for the opportunities and
problem.
everything. Don't forget to check
Thank
out
you.
Sasha as well, because he's doing an amazing job today.
Thank
so
you. Yeah,
get
you can
those-
find me on Twitch and on Instagram. It's if you look for me, it's Fun Fragger. It's like fun as fun, and
Yep.
Fragger as the frag in a video game. So,
Yep.
but don't crash my Instagram right now.
Oh yes, don't destroy
And
him.
if you want to see a lot of cat pictures, you just go on my Instagram.
Easy.
So what we do now is we go to an intermission, which will be around 15 minutes. So we come back at half, 12:30,
Yep.
and our local time here, and then we will go to round 4 and 5 of the Vanguard Swiss rounds, and then we will
Yep.
go to starting off the finals soon, which are of course the other games first, which is then Luck and Logic,
Yeah.
Body Fight, Wise. Of course, the row is Luck and Logic, Luck and Logic, Wise,
Wise.
Body Fight,
Yeah,
and,
and then Vanguard.
Body Fight you will see Chris commentating with Julius, who is one of the executives also in charge of Body
Body
Fight.
Fight.
So he's very good at this game, as also knowledgeable, and yeah. Also have another commentary coming later, which is Kevin standing in the back waving, doing white shorts with me in Luck and Logic. So
Yes.
he's from the US office, but we will introduce him properly, don't worry.
Make sure
So,
to support all of our commentators. We're
yes,
all working
please.
very hard.
We
So,
try. We
Yep.
try. So you will also hear what matchup is next and that period. So for now, I hope our tech in the back is ready and we come back soon. So thank you for watching and we will see you later after the intermission, guys. So please stay tuned with us.
Yep. See you guys soon. Hello and
Guys,
welcome
I'm
everyone.
sorry. I wanted to say hi. No, go for it.
So, welcome back to the coverage of the Bushiroad Championship Series World Finals for the Vanguard portion. So, our next matchup is going to be a pretty interesting one. We have, once again, another clash of regions.
Yes, it is. So we have on one side El Mendoza, who is from the Philippines, who won the spring season circuit and then qualified there for now coming here to Japan.
Yep.
And we have Matthew Preston from the north of USA, who won basically every year in Dallas, Texas. It's like
Yeah.
a well-known player there.
2014, 2015, 2016, and 2017.
Yes, and as you can see here, we have Aquaforce again versus Link Joker Deleter.
Yep, so we have Matthew playing Deleters on the left, and we have El Mendoza playing Thabas on the right. So these are both decks that we've already seen on the stream, and as we've mentioned before, these are both, in my opinion, very solid picks coming into the tournament. And so once again, just like we saw in round 1, Matthew, being the Deleter player, as we saw in round 1 as well, is taking the first turn. And as we mentioned, like that is a pretty big deal because he'll be able to get off the first deletes of the game. But it's not the worst thing. It's not the end of the world. It depends how the game paces out.
Yeah, of
But
course.
for Thabas, it's also all right to go second because he doesn't want to take the first stride and just go with the Alexandros and just rush in with all the units. And he's hitting the rear.
Interesting. I
Yep.
mean, it's a good idea though, but interesting. As
It's
in,
actually really good because now
yeah.
he doesn't let his opponent delete him.
That's true.
Oh,
That's very interesting.
That's a very interesting turn of events because now Matthew rode into a different grade 2. He rode into the 10k vanilla just to not get Sabreeze. That's very interesting.
You
Okay.
better to do something than nothing. I mean, Sabreeze is not a good thing that you want to see in this kind of early matchup. So good idea there.
Yep. And El Mendoza, as we can see, this is a really interesting turn because he got the heal now. He attacked unboosted, so that he's 9k against the 10k. He doesn't hit him, and if he gets the trigger, he can put it on the starter to not give him any damage because he wants to avoid giving damage to a deleter player because he doesn't want to be deleter first. He want to force him into the grade 3 so that he himself, El Mendoza as the Thabas player, take the first stride. So this is a very interesting turn of events.
There we go off with the attacks right side of his flank attacks first. He's thinking of, do I guard this or not? I mean, he's just on 1 damage, so you could possibly think about the trigger and just go off with it, and then he has a better possibility against the boosted attacks now from left and middle, of course, which is still the 10k.
Ooh, he drops the stride fodder though.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
That hurts.
Because
Okay,
of
drops the
10K
crit.
shield.
And he lets the Vanguard pass. Gets the
Stand
stand.
trigger. Gives out first the power to the right flank, gaining 1 damage. No trigger here. Then
Yep.
it goes off with 12, is it? Yes.
Yep, it
It's
should
okay.
be. And let's see what he'll do. He'll take this one as well. He gets the crit,
Crit
slightly
trigger.
off timing.
Well, it doesn't help him that much anymore. So
Yep.
what? Draws 1 card. Let's see. Oh, G assist.
G
there.
assist. We see it once again. The Thavas players seem to have a curse. He
Oh,
gets
there
the...
he found one. The last card, though.
Ooh. Now he's considering because that's not the Thavas that you really
He
want.
doesn't want to see this one. No, he wants to see the other one. But he's now considering, do I just want to keep this so I can go on grade 3 and just try it, of course, and find something more? Because that's one more trigger check that he can get and 1 more card in his hand.
Yep.
So,
He's really thinking about it. This
but
is
then, why do I even show my card then to my opponent? If I'm considering it, maybe not giving this information to my opponent, but
regardless.
All right.
I think it's worth the information for
Sure.
both players, but we'll see what he decides to do with it because for El Mendoza,
Oh,
he
he
will
takes it.
choose
All
to
right.
take it. All right. So I think it's not the most optimal turn of events, but honestly, it's definitely not bad either. So
no, it's true.
his hand, we can see he has, I think, a couple of heals. So that's good for you guys. Honestly, if he had the grade 3, that would have been really, really nice. Like, that hand is actually looking mighty fine. So we'll see how he decides to go for this and approach the situation. So he's going to give up the Thavas critical as well as... Ooh, he's hovering over a few cards.
Yeah,
but
tough choice here.
it is. Because he's got a
Alright.
lot of combo pieces. He doesn't really want to give up his heals because the G-guards are just so crucial. And especially, playing against Link Choker is not the best thing either. Oh, wait, he's
Watch
giving
one
up the
Sabreeze.
Sabreeze. So it does reveal that he plays a Sabreeze, although he could potentially use it this turn. And the GB8. Okay,
Oh, yeah,
just
that is true.
quickly-
I mean, he was great stuck before, so he could eventually play the Sabreeze now in this turn.
Yeah,
he was
I
able
believe
to.
so.
But then he had to drop, of course, like 2 cards from his hand since not having a grade 3 anymore.
Yeah.
Besides the one that he just took. So I mean, I can understand why maybe he took that case of not using the Sabreeze then in that case. But of course, I mean, it is more damage.
Definitely, yeah.
I mean, of course, we don't know what his mindset is, I assume, right now. Of
Yeah.
course, like, do I want to drop 2 cards? If he does now drop cards, I mean, why not then taking the Sabreeze, right? But but I mean, of course, he cannot because Sabreeze is the only possibility at that standpoint because his opponent is not grade 3 at this moment.
plays down the Icloris. And so this is an interesting card because it lets him fetch bound cards as guardians. And with the new heal triggers, since they do bind themselves face up from the drop zone in order to activate their skills, you could potentially use her to retrieve them. This is also interesting in case you play against the Vanquisher deck because it does bind just like your entire drop zone. But even then, you can just fetch that bind zone just straight back out and guard with it. So in a way, the Vanquisher player would actually be doing you a favor. But that's not the scenario we have right here, but still very interesting. So he goes
Matthew was just
Vanguard
checking
the
on
rear.
some rulings. I'm not sure what this dispute was, but they figured it out. So, okay, trigger check. Perfect
play to
guard.
end the crit.
And the crit triggers. Of course, giving 2 powers there to his right flank.
Yep,
Then
and he just swings at rear. He does not want poor El Mendoza. He's not getting any damage.
I mean, it's a good thing. He's not on grade 3, so why giving him any opportunities or more attacks, right? Also, just blocking off his deletion for future plays
entirely.
and,
Yeah, so now like El Mendoza has to think like, do I go for the grade 3 and just stride, or do I stay on my grade 2 with
think
no
about
damage?
it like this. Yeah, think about it like this. Matthew is now in the position of I cannot do anything with the deck that my deck type is. He's just basically sitting there doing a regular play of Vanguard, just attacking, hoping for crits and doing nothing. And El Mendoza is just playing with him as in, you know what? I don't have my grade 3. I don't have my stride. I don't care. I just block off everything that you want to do against me. So it's kind of like a nice play,
Yep, and we can see that Matthew is actually not gonna ride up, so he's gonna stay on the grade 2. I think honestly that's probably the good choice there as well because he still has 0 damage and he knows that his opponent gave up Sabreeze, so there's not as much risk either.
That's what I just wanted to say. He knows that there's no Sabreeze, no as in problems facing him in the next turn.
And he's just gonna block with a 10k. That was a suited pass. So far, this has been a very interesting start to the game.
Also quite slow matchup. I mean, at this standpoint, can El Mendoza go in waves and just try to make more attacks? I think that's a possibility.
Unless he has
no,
title,
he just go for the
he
straight
won't be doing
attack.
that
So
much. For now, he's just
blocking off
denying
draw
everything
trigger.
possible. Gets a
Good
draw.
thing. It's not a crit trigger that you just
No, that was a draw.
It was also a draw? Okay. I didn't see the color of the trigger that he just drew, so...
Yeah. But I think what's important is that I think both players are really playing their best because on the one side, you have El Mendoza that's just not letting him have any damage, not letting him delete, not letting him do the things that his deck is supposed to do. And meanwhile, we have Matthew Preston, who's just, he's just taking his time. He's not going up to grade 3 because he knows that like he's put into the situation where he can't do anything with it regardless. So he just has to carefully approach it and do the most he can with no damage. But now that the first stride has come down, I think that also signals for El Mendoza that he can start also, obviously stride as well, but he can start pushing for damage. And I think his way of denying damage and resources as well is going to slowly calm down. Because as we can see, that, I believe, was the last card in Matthew Preston's hand. If I'm... No, it wasn't. My bad. He just set it aside. So, now, let's see. He should not be able to activate the grade 2 skill just yet because that is a... You can almost want to get plus 2k, and then the scary part of that grade 2 that he just called is that if it hits, he will not let El Mendoza stride, which is definitely quite scary. So let's see how they decide to go about it. So he uses the stride skill, so it does work on 0 damage, which is, what he's optimally going for. And so the Thavas has been deleted. And now he's going to be buffing up his units as well as is the skill of the Aodayan. So this is one of the new strides for the leaders, as we saw in the previous match as well, but it's definitely very threatening. And I think it's very amazing to see as well that Matthew Preston, despite being denied all damage and resources, is able to push out so much regardless. Like, he's making the best of his situation and honestly doing a really great job. So we're going to be seeing a G-Guard.
Also, I mean, how cool would it be that it'd be the first game of the day not having any damage? I mean, this would be very interesting. So
there are some decks in the meta, after all, that do focus off of having no damage or dealing no damage, rather, like Lendios. That's definitely a very exciting one. I wonder if some people would actually take that, but most likely, I wouldn't really expect it, but it'd be very interesting to see.
So no guards here, so nothing.
No guards to Vanguard. That's a bit risky.
Nothing.
But I think also the reason why you can take that risk is because, as we've seen in Game 1, the leader players tend to go with just the 12 stand or 10 stand, like that. Very high.
But think about it like this: like he's now on 5 damage. If he would hit a crit trigger in that standpoint, he would be basically dead. So that was really risky.
But the only reason why he could take that risk is because he has enough game knowledge to assume that most of the leader players will not be playing at least many criticals. Maybe a couple, but not many, because they focus so much on stands because it's just so much more effective for that type of deck.
Yeah, that's true. In this deck, we can tell you guys that he has just 3 of the critical triggers, which is Jiva, like bidding the leader. So this is the only possibility that he gets his critical triggers. The rest is just stand triggers, of course, with Fames, Eddie, and Alaron.
Yep.
So basic build over the leader deck. Yeah. So, not what we see in the G zone. There are no Messiah cards in this deck we had in the beginning. But this is Amnesty and Excelsius.
So again, he's also with the
same build as in the beginning, more or less.
Yeah.
The first
so
match
all the leader players, like, they have the freedom. The G zone space for the leaders is honestly quite open because the leaders only have 2 strides as of now in the English format. So for them, like, they have quite a lot of space to still be able to play other things. So it's probably fine to play the Messiah stride simply because when you do face the mirror match, which, as we've seen, this is the second time we see the leaders, and also when you face any other Link Joker deck, it's going to be a pretty good option. So he goes into the Commander Thavas. That's an interesting first strike choice. He's going to get the Retire off twice because he has both the old Thavas' grade 3 skill to get 1 Retire off, as well as the Commander Thavas should also get him a Retire as well. And he did G-Guard last turn, so that does give him the GB3 availability as well. So it's definitely very nice. And that G-Guard is actually very good against, well, the leader is not as much, but Link Joker as a clan, because that G-Guard that El Mendoza used is capable of unlocking. So that's definitely very nice. So, activating the Commander Thavas skill to Persona Flip, and he's going to be able to give one of his units the ability to attack from the back row. So, upping the wave counts. Overall, just a very solid move. And so,
also really with the hand that he has. I mean, he has a lot of great zeros in his hand, not giving too much possibilities of what he can do.
Yep.
So I think Commander was a great choice, also with the regards of his hand and everything. So best possibility that he can get. Of course, now he can call something also on his feet, going with the Forerunner, as in calling then something on the board, which gives him more waves eventually. So he needs to go off with some attacks, because otherwise he will be in a bad position. I mean, 0 damage still against 5, which is
that's true.
very, very tough for him.
But in
making
a
it-
way, he's also able to, like, in the end, when Matthew Preston checks heals, they're not going to be going off for a while. Meanwhile, any time when El Mendoza does get them, that's going to work out because in the end, it is quite efficient to set yourself a little bit behind. I mean, this isn't exactly a little, it's 0 to 5.
It is true.
But it is fine to set yourself a little bit back in damage just so you're able to deny heals for your opponent and also take advantage of them yourself. So you see triple check and
Oh,
no
no
triggers on that
here.
side. We get a stand trigger on Matthew's side. So that puts him up to 16k, which does complicate things a little bit. But he's going to go for the rear guard, leaving him with 1 damage. I think that's quite an interesting move. And so he does Soul Blast to use the Chloris skill to bind the Adelaide. Binding the Adelaide is not the most optimal because you do want to use it for your multi-attacks, obviously, but that will be the end of El Mendoza's turn. I think that was a pretty solid turn in its
It was
own.
a solid turn for the possibilities that he had, of course.
Yep, and also
So-
the grade 3 return to his hand from the starter
That is
skill.
true. What do you think, though? Next turn he will go, maybe if he survives like to Alessandro's, will be the best possibility? Or
I'm thinking about it now because in the end, he was only able to push 1 damage through this whole turn.
Yeah.
So he's not giving Matthew too many options to play with, but at the same time, I feel like it's a bit of a concern if he can actually push for that much damage in 1 turn, because with Alexandros, it does scale into the game. So the next time you use it, let's say he doesn't G-Guard this turn, he'll be able to get a plus 20k buff on whatever he uses, which he chooses to stand with the Alexandros, but it depends if he has the combo pieces in hand to actually pull off enough damage in that 1 turn. So
wouldn't
we'll
that
see.
would then be Lambros the best possibility for him then? In that
I think
case?
Lambros at this stage is no longer as required because with Lambros it's a bit better to use it in the early stages when
Yeah.
your Alexandros hasn't scaled too much because it
No,
scales
but
with
that
every
is true
face
though.
up
Yeah,
unit.
okay, makes sense. Yeah.
So it's better to use the Lambros when you're like the Alexandros and the Thabas are the Alexandros and the Lambros are hitting for the same amount of power because then the Lambros is free and the Alexandros does use up a counterblast. So
Yeah.
in that way, I think it's that's probably the timing where you would want to use the Lambros, but in this case, I think it's perfectly fine to go for the Alexandros. I believe he does also have the Wailing Thabas as well in his G zone, so that's also a possible option.
Yeah, but just 1 copy, but it is enough. I think he
It's
can
still an
he can
option.
just hit it off and then do something with it.
Yep. So now we see that Matthew has performed the delete, but he did not stride, and he has refunded his own counterblast too, so that's definitely very solid. And now let's see how he's going to decide to proceed. He uses the Perfect Guard skill, so the Galga going off.
And you can also say with 1 damage he doesn't have any much possibilities as counterblasting things. So
That's true.
it's okay though then for his opponent to say, okay, I just have 1 damage. I can maybe do 1 thing. Of course, I have to then unflip like he just did my counterblast again to do something. But then that makes it also a bit slower for his plays because of course he needs to pay for his things.
That's
so
true.
if he doesn't have anything to pay, of course it makes it a bit better for his opponent to come back maybe out of his shell. But right now he's still hiding inside of his turtle shell as just having 5 damage.
Yep, and the Given is coming through.
Now he has to guard everything because otherwise he will have a big issue.
Yep, and now they're just checking the Chloris skills because that does go off. Chloris
Yeah.
is able to guard from the bind zone, so that's a very interesting use of that grade 1. Like being able to
He was
not
just
just
double
guard-
checking. I mean, it's a reasonable
It's
double check because
understandable.
it's a nice move and a
Yep.
possibility for him. So that is
Ooh.
a
Perfect Guard goes off, and there's a
Nice
critical
trigger,
coming
it's a
through.
crit, yeah.
So it does confirm that he doesn't just play stands. As like we know that he doesn't just play stands, but the players on the tables themselves
Yeah,
don't
that's
actually
true.
know. So let's see how he's going to decide to split this one. He gets the stand,
stand
too.
trigger.
Oh, that is
Nice
going to be
one.
quite
Oh
scary.
Jesus! This is going to be putting him in a good position now. He has a lot of power going with the right wing. There you
Yep.
go.
Oh, and that is
GG.
gonna
That is
be
over.
game. That
But
is
then
quite
1
unfortunate.
damage.
Yeah, but
That
that is
is-
enough. That's all.
No one's
That's
saying
all it
like he
takes.
didn't get any damage
But I
throughout
think
the
in
whole
the end,
game.
I would say that El Mendoza played to his best because giving damage to the leaders is just so risky because you don't want to get deleted too early in case you can't put up with the rush because the leaders are so fast at what they do. So it's definitely going to be quite dangerous if, it actually goes down that way. So I think El Mendoza honestly played to his best, but congratulations to Matthew Preston for getting yet another deleter victory. So it's definitely very impressive to see deleters doing really well at this World Championship Finals. As expected, honestly, I thought that before coming into the tournament, I thought that the leaders would have a very strong chance because against a lot of matchups, they just have a field day.
Yeah, but it was also like from the beginning that we said the leader will be maybe not only that only deck that we will see as in the most common one, but also Kagero, of course, next to it. But the leaders are showing quite off that this new set that came out with the booster pack is like getting them to a ridiculously standpoint of doing great matchups and possibilities of also, of course, beating Aquaforce, beating Kagero,
Like
which
the-
was not the case earlier, but you know, happens.
Yeah, I mean,
but nice
speaking
decks.
speaking of earlier, like the leaders before this set arguably barely even showed up in the tournament scene at all. Like they weren't very consistent to the extent that they are now, because now they have so many ins
It
and
is
outs.
true. In the time that the first leader booster came out, nobody was really considering it as it's just a fun deck to play, but not really competitive. And
Yeah.
now with this, actually the leaders got into a standpoint of really being a meta-ish deck, next to something we saw earlier. I mean, when Time Leap came out, everything was just insane of restanding everything. Then of course
Yep.
came Zodiac Time Beast out, and now we see a lot of Kagero, a lot of the leaders as in showing off, okay, you know what, this booster was what we needed to
Yeah,
come back
exactly.
on the same level pace of championships as they used to be.
And it's still not over. There's still the Stargate booster coming
is
out
true,
with
yeah.
even more deleter support.
Yeah, that
so
is true.
I'm slightly scared to see where the deck is going to end up after that set, because this was honestly quite frightening to see, because the leaders are looking so good right
Yeah.
now. I would not be surprised if
But
the
it's
leaders
still
took the whole
Aquaforce
thing.
also nice decks right now.
Definitely.
Talos is really a nice guy. Alessandros is really a fun card that you want to play. So we will get our winner just now. He's on his way.
Yep. So
There you go.
Matthew Preston representing North America.
Matthew,
Let's-
our winner. Come to us, Matthew. Representing
Yes.
Dallas. Is it Dallas? You're coming from Dallas actually, or you're coming from somewhere else?
Austin.
Austin, all right. But don't fall, please. Don't trip. Take it slow. Take it slow. This is your mic.
Okay.
Welcome. Listen, you had no damage till almost at the end.
Yep.
This is like so insane.
Yep. A lot of players choose against deleters not to give damage, so that way they can't do given turns and they can't activate delete on Gray End.
Yeah, we were saying in the beginning, he gave you a lot of, how to say, not problems, but attacks on your rear guards, blocking you off, as in I cannot use anything later when I can do off my deletion status, as in I cannot do any deletes because he's always attacking my rear guards. But then we saw why, as in we didn't have any other possibilities to come back, because then I think an error that he did was giving up his Breeze, because
Yes.
as in he was given possibilities twice by you to call it. But then of course the second one was you knew he cannot call the Breeze anymore because there is none anymore. But I think it was I didn't say stupid idea, but because that's a bit rude, but more like it wasn't faulty play as a misplay doing of him.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it was kind of the worst of both worlds. Either he could keep Seabreeze and use up the counterblast resources that he had, probably locking him off from Thuria or other skills, and be able to get him to GB1, or he could remove Seabreeze and be able to free up the rest of his G zone in case he had something else that could be hampered by removing something else. I think that because of the Seabreeze play, I was able to keep all of my rear guards and keep on the pressure. But those couple of draw triggers in the very end were actually helping him to get by. So
I think
it was really good.
in the end, by removing the Sabreeze, he also removed the threat of like being able to pressure you. Just like the existence of the Sabreeze, I think would have been enough to make you play differently. But the fact that you knew it was out, it was like, okay, I might as well just stay on my grade 2 and just play as much as I like and just wait until it gives me the damage to make my plays.
Yeah, absolutely. By not striding into Seabreeze, or if he were to stride into Seabreeze, I would have been able to go into Gray End a lot sooner and be able to set up even more card advantage by calling stuff from top of deck. And by doing so, I could have been able to force out more of the, Zalcaloud, the grade 2, being able to lock him out from further strides.
Yeah. And so this was a question that I asked in round 1 as well, but how do you feel about the leaders in the current format with Overlord and Chaos and everything being all over the place, and Thavas as well, as we saw in this round? But the leaders weren't so hyped at the very start, but now are showing up to be a really good competitive deck for the tournament scene.
A lot of it has to do with the leader's very, very aggressive early game. And because of that early game, a lot of the other decks, aside from Thavas, have a very hard time being able to come back after, let's say, a given turn or a first stride of Iodian. So because of that, the leaders are kind of sneaking their way in and being able to press other kinds of decks like that. Against Chaos, they have their G-Zone Destiny Guardian, which can counteract Chaos's ability to lock them out of the game, as where stuff like Overlord is strictly based off of whenever they hit grade 3 with denial Griffin plays. And if you hit them before they can actually ride to that grade 3 point, then you're going to be able to lock them out of the game.
Yeah, you also deny the Destiny skill just by deleting them as well, so that's a really nice point.
Absolutely.
But you can also see from your list that you're playing the Messiah strides as well for that mirror match, essentially.
Yeah, that was, truth be told, that one of my friends is letting me borrow the deleter deck. I had play tested Great Nature, and I'm actually very well known for playing my very weirdly rogue Great Nature decks in general. And looking at how the meta was shifting, deleters just felt almost exactly the same way. Next to Shadow Paladin, but I felt Shadow Paladin didn't have a very good matchup. So by playing the deleters here and borrowing my friend's deck, he saw a very good effective strategy with using 2 Amnesties and Excelix, being that since deleters have a very good oppressive early game, an oppressive late game strategy with Excelix Messiah, as well as a board wipe control against, let's say, other Messiahs, or against someone that gets Lacus Carina. It'd be a very good strategy in itself. So I thought it was a very good Tekken.
Yeah, definitely. So are there any people that you'd like to give shout-outs to? Anyone back at home that helps you test?
Shout out to Dragon's Lair of Austin for sponsoring me and helping me get ready. Shout out to Will Peng, who's letting me borrow the deck, as well as the support from everyone at Dragon's Lair, giving me great testing. Shout outs to everybody at home, Tom and Ariana Ravello. Shout out to Valen Serrano, and shout out to Keaton Chapman.
All right, so you're now after round 4. How are you feeling? There's one more round of Swiss. How do you feel for the rest of the tournament?
I'm feeling very anxious, to be perfectly honest, because after first round, I didn't think I was going to get this far, and then having to 6 damage heal out of third round was even more pressure. So honestly, anything can happen in
and
this
is your
World
current
Finals.
round? Is your current score 4-0?
No, it's actually 3-1.
Okay.
3-1 right now.
Okay, but still very solid. And so, best of luck for the rest of the tournament. I think honestly, it's amazing to see the leaders come this far, and obviously we can see that you're a really good pilot with the deck as well. So honestly, thank you very much for showing us a really just amazing line of play as well, and for explaining everything. So yeah, best of luck for the rest of the tournament. And if there are any last words?
No, I'm just going to do the best that I can, and I hope I make everyone proud.
All right, thank you very much.
Don't worry, you will do. Thank you.
Thank you.
So thank you very much. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Best of luck.
All right. Best of luck. Thank you. So yeah,
Alright,
the
so-
leaders again.
Yeah, once again, they keep on coming.
Well, okay, not again, because first time Overlord came a bit through, but let's say what was a back and forth match. But now the
Yeah.
leaders showing off that they're actually good at this meta right now.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like, the leaders are looking very scary.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, we've got one more round of Swiss left. And honestly, like, if Matthew can take that, chances are he's got a pretty solid chance at the top 8
I
as well.
think if he just wins the next round, he will definitely be in top 8, because then of course you have that one going straight 5-0. But
Yeah.
then the rest will be mostly 4-1, besides maybe one depending on the tiebreakers.
It depends,
But
yeah.
we will see. And yeah, we have some time to talk before we go into the next match. So
Yeah, so I think it's interesting to see that, like, Matthew is looking to have a very solid chance at top 8. I think there's, like, that's already, well, chances are if he wins the next one, there's a solid chance we're going to see the leaders in the top 8, possibly even in the finals. But in general, I think I wouldn't take away from El Mendoza's line of play, because I think, honestly, the leaders are a very scary deck, and it's the amount of, by giving them the damage to make their plays, they make so much advantage that it's so hard for them to, like, for the opponent to come back from that. Thavas is somewhat capable, but it is still an uphill battle. And so
it
I
is.
think
Also, by talking to the players that are here, mostly who we're talking to about the leaders are saying, like, I have almost every time an answer to every deck that is possible is red tier. So, as like Geek was earlier saying, there's no really bad matchups for them. The leaders also right now doesn't really have a bad matchup, as in maybe the mirror match, if they don't come up straight, as in maybe getting gear stuck, great stuck, sorry.
Yeah.
Finding some words. We had some food. We had some food before. Maybe that's getting into my head. Because we need some breaks, some drink. We didn't drink like tea, but yeah, I mean they don't really have a threat, I think.
that's true. I
But,
think also the fact that
yeah.
another feature is that from the people that I've talked to that are here, well, it's not a lot of them, like, they all consider the leaders to be a possibility of being a common, something they would see often in the tournament. But I think a lot of people, if they're playtesting against Link Joker, they're mostly going to be doing it as Chaos.
Yeah.
Because that is still one of the scariest decks right now in the meta. And honestly, I don't blame them for focusing on Chaos, but you can see that that's by focusing so much on Chaos, in exchange, you're getting, swooped up by the leaders. So
yeah, that is true.
it's a very interesting deck, and it's honestly very amazing to see how it's performing in the tournament as well. I hope we still keep seeing interesting matchups.
We
and
have one more
honestly-
match to go.
Yeah, we still have one more round
Let's
of
see
Swiss.
what match we will see. Then we will head off to, like I said, Lock and Logic final. I'm not sure how the players are actually doing, because we didn't get any information.
Yeah.
But as I understand that these rounds of Swiss will be stopping while we start our last round of, like the 5th round of Swiss for Vanguard. So we might get an info then who the winner is and who will be
Yeah.
going to the finals. But right now they're starting to head off the top 4, I think. So they're kind of really busy there in the back. If we would be here, it's a nice place. It's very, like you see,
Yeah.
very bright, a lot of people. You hear a lot of people talking. We have a crowd behind us watching. So it was really nice earlier when we had that purge move, where the crowd was just going
fifth
insane.
trigger.
And then on the final trigger, everybody was just going nuts, like, oh wow, he hits that one trigger he needs. On the game earlier, I have to say we have to apologize. From a common sense, I was thinking that Nick actually had a 2 pass, but it was a 1 pass. But then we were actually counting a bit how much guard power he had.
We got caught up in that.
Yeah, but then from the standpoint of knowledge of a player, you think, okay, 2 pass because he has 5 damage, and then he goes to a 1 pass situation where we just sit there and be
Kinda
like,
caught us off
1
guard.
pass is kind of greedy because you don't want that,
Yeah.
going into a move of being too, how should I say, oh, I just leave it and just take my luck take in my
Yeah.
place, as in let the luck decide, and then it's like maybe it was a wrong decision.
Yeah.
But right now also, like I said, the Sabreeze was kind of like,
Yeah, that was
why
an
do you
interesting
give up the Sabreeze in that kind of move? Of course, Matthew knows in the second time he didn't ride, I mean, as in, why should I ride if
There's
I don't
no
have
reason.
a threat anymore?
Yeah,
For no
exactly.
threats, I don't need to do anything anymore. But then giving up that Sabreeze, even we both look at each other and we're like, why is he giving up this card? It's like,
I still think it wasn't. There were other decisions that could have been made, but I think it's still it's an interesting move. But I still wouldn't take away the credit from El Mendoza. I still think he performed well.
No,
He
seriously.
represented
In all
Philippines very
respect,
well.
El Mendoza did a very, very well match. Also, in the fact that he always had an answer, still giving back. Also, cleaning up his field with the rear guards.
Yeah.
Nice move, because from that, like we said earlier, he couldn't get an answer as in deleting anything, because of course the board was clear, as in, you know what? Okay,
Yeah.
if I cannot do my thing, then I won't let you do your thing.
Exactly.
So, but
then-
he didn't have a surfboard for his waves though.
Yep, that he did not. And
Maybe he left it
unfortunately-
home, we don't know.
Yeah, possibly. But yeah, getting pushed to 5 damage, it's kind of hard to survive those kind of situations, I think. So I think he did the best that he could, but in the end, Matthew did take it. So I believe that soon we should be heading off to round 5 more. or less.
1-5, yeah. I think we're gonna take a short break here, see what is going on. Maybe can come back in some minutes and then look at round 5. Then we will do a proper introduction, and I don't interview you again. Like I said,
No.
in the past we did some food maybe that got into our heads because we were calmed down a bit.
Yeah.
Because it's quite how should we say. It is just grateful to be here and
No,
just
no.
having fun with you guys. We're seeing sometimes what your chat is telling us,
Yeah.
as in we do a good job, so thank you. Please keep it trending still. We like your support, and the finals are coming up soon as well. I mean, come on.
Yep, we're
Let's
almost
get some
there.
hype also for the Vanguard finals tonight when we hit off the last finals before ending this tournament, which is sad. It's like, it's
Yeah.
not over then, man. It's
Yeah, honestly, I was going to ask as well before we cut off, how have you been feeling so far? We got 4 rounds.
we got 4
So-
rounds. We are in the 5th now, coming up.
Yeah,
And
so how have you
then-
been feeling about the tournament so far yourself?
I have to say it is a nice experience because, like said, okay, we're going in commercial 5 minutes later. So sorry for the tech guys in the back. Like a bit close. Something
Yep.
happened. Oh, Mr. O just came in from Vanguard.
Yes. Yep.
Mr. O, you can come here. This is the better stream. No, I'm sorry.
No.
No, but feeling that we have so many players here is really, really nice because I like this kind of environment, having so many people, everybody's talking to each other. They see faces they never saw before. Because in the past, it was just the winners of the Continentals, which are then 4 people,
Yeah.
4 maybe each continent.
Yeah.
And then there are like 16 people sitting there having fun.
Yeah.
But maybe they know each other from some other tournaments, as in, of course, the winners of the Continentals being the one that are more familiar, as for example, Austin for Body Fight,
Yeah.
or like some of the Europeans also for Vanguard, or the Americans, of course, right? But then now you actually have the variety of so many players
Yeah, and like
coming
all
to
these
just
different regions
one
coming
event,
together. It's really amazing.
having fun, and then also the possibilities of every winner of every tournament this year got a reason to be here. As in, you did a so good job on this tournament, which was the regional qualifiers, and you directly get, the flight to the finals here,
Yeah.
having some fun in Akihabara, the mecca of all otakus here, are just having fun, you know. These
Yeah.
guys are just living their dreams right now. They're just, everybody is here having fun, talking to each other, sharing texts, sharing decks as in cards, and also possibilities. I wouldn't share these thoughts too early though, because maybe he become your opponent, and
That's
then you
true.
lose your
That's definitely
opportunity
true.
winning against him.
That's true.
So what
That's
do you
true.
think? I mean, you're here sitting with me commentating, so
No, honestly, I think it's been a really amazing experience for me as well. Like, it's still going, but honestly, like, so far it's been amazing to see both the different play styles of people, both like new faces in the competitive scene, as well as some of the players that have been here for a long time, year and year, back and back again. So it's honestly really amazing to see all of that. Honestly, like, I'm honored to be here today, commentating for everyone, and I hope you guys enjoy this stream going forwards as well. So I think we can cut for a short.
you can cut for a short break. I saw some guys of you trending the BCS 2017 finals thread. Keep it going. Also, a lot of people on social media actually talking about the games and the commentary, and of
very
course
good.
the interviews that we do. Just keep it going, guys. You do a great job there.
Yep.
Yeah, we take a short break, then we come back. Let Mr. O have his nice time there, because the Japanese stream are also starting soon.
Yep.
So have some great fun with us still.
Yep,
Keep
so
it
stick
watching.
around.
And Europe are some sort of waking up right now. So I think the Europeans are joining in
Slowly,
soon as
slowly
well.
coming in.
Slowly coming in. So
All right then.
have a nice breakfast, and we see each other later. All right?
All right,
Take care,
see you
guys.
soon.
See you soon. Welcome back. We just heard a nice announcement, or sad, of course, as well. It's the last round before
Yep.
top cut. It's cleared. So, welcome back. Me again, Sasha here, of course, with different fight along my side, and we are in the final 5th round of the Cardfight Vanguard Swiss rounds.
Yep.
Before going into the first finals today, which will be Luck and
And
Logic. So, it is a mirror match.
Yes, indeed it is. So we have a mirror match between Hank Huang of the USA and Joshua Lee of Canada. So they are both going to be playing Overlord. Slight differences here and there. The grade 3 lineup does have some interesting choices here and there. That's the least that I can say about it for now. But here we have on the right Joshua Lee, and on the left Hank Huang. Interesting note about Hank Huang, actually. He is, from all of the Vanguard participants today, the 3rd most achieved player, because the first most achieved player in terms of official Bushiroad accomplishments is Lubo Chen from the Netherlands,
Yeah.
with Kevin Cho being the 2nd most achieved, and then we have Hank Huang, who is the player on the left, being the 3rd most achieved. Now, just to go over a few achievements, Hank Huang was 2013 Worlds Dallas, 1st place. In Team League, Texas, 2015, 1st place. And then in the North American Finals of Team League, he was 3rd. And then just this year in Dallas, he was 3rd. And in Texas, he finally qualified in 1st place. So he has quite a lot of achievements.
Really,
This
a
guy
lot.
is
Yeah, nice to
quite
hear.
crazy, honestly. So it's quite amazing to see. But Joshua Lee himself is also not short of achievements.
Oh,
He-
GS is on the
no.
first turn. No, this is quite bad, because you want to have that.
Ouch.
You want to have that advantage actually in hand and in, I think, attacks to go in this
Yeah.
kind of mirror matchup. Because doesn't it come to an end like who has the more rush ability in this standpoint, or attacks, or what do you
Yeah,
think?
no, like this is definitely not how you want to be starting your first turn. Ouch, that really hurts. So Josh was asking for permission if he can just look through his hand, which should normally be okay.
Looking through, yeah, but no notes, of course.
No, of course not.
But
You see glow heaters, the legend, as well as I believe one of the critical triggers, if not 2 of them. Just for a confirmation. But that is very unfortunate. Honestly, like that, as a start to the first turn, that is not ideal whatsoever. But I think honestly, in his case, I would have maybe not even G-assisted, but simply went for possibly just right into a grade 0 and used the Conroe the next turn to search a grade 1. But I think by then it would probably be too late. So I think the G-assist isn't exactly the wrong move either. So he's going to drop a draw trigger for his G-assist, and he's still thinking of the other card in his hand. He's hovering over one of the crits, but he already put away his G-units. There was the Overlord G-Guard, as well as, I believe, the Sea Breeze. So that's that. So, as I was saying earlier, Joshua Lee is one of the more well-known Canadian players as well. He does have quite a few achievements under his belt.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
definitely a very interesting high-stakes matchups, because they are from the same region, but not from the same country. So it's
No.
still an interesting clash. But both of these players are looking quite good for the top cut as well. So the first damage does go off. There's the Destiny in the damage zone. And so we continue back onto Joshua's turn. So let's see how this is going to pace out. Because in the end, we are on the 5th round. Considering the fact that they are here on the stream in the 5th round means that they're currently either X0 or X1. I'm willing to say that it's
I'm
X1.
also willing to say it's X. No, it's would say X0 because I think if they're in
Possibly.
the first table.
We don't always take first tables though, so there's
No,
that.
that's true though. That's
We'll
true.
see. But regardless, I think for anyone that wins this round, they will be proceeding to top 8. So this is very high
We
stakes
just tell
because
it is missing information.
yeah, essentially. So this is something that like it's we've had it really exciting rounds from 1 to 4. They were very exciting, but this is when things start to get a little bit tense. This is where, you know, if you lose this one, you might not make it for top 8. And having that top 8, like being able to say tomorrow I made it to top 8 at Worlds is quite a nice thing. Even
is
if you
true.
don't win it, being
So
top 8 is
Conroy effect
something.
going off. He was looking for something. I think preparing for his grade 3 is the most reasonable thing to do.
Most likely, but it's still, we haven't really seen Joshua's hand that well either, so it's hard to say what it's going to be. So is this Stride Fodder, so the universal Stride Fodder, not the Overlord restricted one? So I think that's a fine choice. Again, we don't really know the contents of his hand, so it's hard to judge exactly what he should have been looking for in that scenario, but I think in the broader scale of things, that was a solid choice in its own right. So let's see. The turns themselves are progressing, you know, at a steady pace because, like, I think it's understandable. They've got the nerves of being here. Then there's a nervousness of being on stream, and then the nervousness of if I lose this,
They don't want to do
make it.
something wrong. They're
Exactly.
all thinking their turns. Now you see Josh thinking about what should I get? I mean, I can do this and that. I have possibilities. Looking for Destiny.
Yeah.
So definitely something interesting for later.
Yeah, so it's definitely, yeah, I don't know. It's you can't blame them for playing slow because in the end, every single step counts.
No, I mean,
and-
think about it like this. In this mirror match, I mean, of course he had a G assist, his opponent, I mean. But, I mean, Hank can also come back with a G assist, as in doing some shenanigans and then win. And you see,
a critical did
that
go
was
off.
a critical trigger, as
Yep.
Mr. O is kind of going insane there. But we have to say he has the Chrono Shindo voice actor
Yes,
being
yes.
with him
So on the
stage,
Japanese side
so-
of the stream, we do have Dr. O with Ishii Mark, who is the voice actor of
Yes.
Shindo Chrono in the Japanese version.
But critical trigger
so-
interesting because then, of course, giving him the advantage of having one more damage.
Yep, and we have Glow Heater
see
coming
second
through.
strike coming up. And Conroy effect hits off, puts him in the drop zone, looking for something. Maybe the same as for Josh? No, of course.
Nope,
Going
it's going to be the Conroe.
with the Conroy.
Oh, still considering.
No, yeah.
Okay, he's
Thing
decided
was,
on it.
no, the thing is that he put
gonna-
the card on the table, and of course, since it is kind of a, how should I say, last round, and I want to win this match, of course, he
Yeah.
decided to, you put it on your table, just saying that, no, you dropped it, you will keep it. Because he was
Yeah.
considering not keeping it and getting something else, there's a Destiny again.
Yeah.
But Josh is then like, you know what, this is the final round, come on, keep it serious, I want you to keep this card because you chosen it. So
I think it's
of
also
course,
because
it is
he
reasonable.
also didn't shuffle the deck because he was going to activate the Conroe anyway.
Yeah, of course,
Because
of
he's going to search for the deck anyway. So like, there's no point wasting time just shuffling your
of
deck
course.
the whole time.
But you saw, just like I said, Josh was saying, no, you picked this card, so you keep the Conroe, please. Sorry about
Yep.
that. But let's say at this competitive level, going into the last round, you want to keep it more pro.
Yep.
Of course, that is a bit unfortunate, but yeah. I would consider in this standpoint when cards like this drop on the floor, maybe giving it to judge over so the judge can have a shuffle of it. Because I don't know if Josh like knows something we don't want to know.
No, but it's fine. In the end, there is a judge at the
Yeah, of course. But then,
spectator
of course,
floor.
like you
so-
said, it's the last round. Maybe they're both nervous, you know.
Obviously, of course.
Don't want to do something wrong.
Yeah, like
in
I said,
their
there are a
play
lot of
and
stakes
everything,
in this
so-
match. So plus the mirror match, like this mirror match is not an easy one. Like there are
No.
some mirror matches where you just kind of like
You
ruffle
just see
stomp over each
Destinies.
other.
Yeah,
and
you
that's
just see Destinies flying everywhere. It's like, yeah, just go with Destinies.
Yep.
Then maybe
So-
an end as well, or the Legend. We'll see. Some
Yeah.
fun parts will come out at the end anyway. So
Yep. So we'll see how the game progresses.
attacks. Let's see if he goes for guard or not. I mean, he's on one
But,
damage.
yep, he's
no
gonna
guard.
let it through. He gets the stand. Ooh, that does reveal that he plays stands. So it is quite
That is
interesting
true.
to see.
An information for Josh though. A nice information for him.
Yeah. So it is not able to capitalize off that stand, which potentially could have, but I don't think it's worth a gamble in that case.
That's
So
true.
it's definitely quite the fine situation, I think,
Yeah.
for him. But now we're going to be resuming with Joshua's turn.
Wouldn't it be, I mean, of course he knows his deck, wouldn't it be better than if he just attacked with his side first before going with the main? I mean, then he could have had a stand trigger to attack again.
Potentially,
But of course,
yes.
I mean, of course, it's a percentage of how much percent have the chance to get this stand trigger off. Of course, it's maybe, 15-20%.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and also, speaking of the mirror match, they're also essentially mirroring their plays as well
yeah, I mean,
as
look
Joshua.
at this board.
Yep,
There you go.
that's
It's always
right.
the same. We can just copy everything, as in.
Oh yeah, now it's no longer the same, but
No.
up till the glow heater it was. So
Charidus
the
goes off the
Evolute does
board.
go off and removes the Conroe, so he's not going to be able to use that Conroe next. Well, once he does start striding to refund his counterblast. So that's an interesting play. I think it's definitely of the targets that you can retire at that moment. I think that was arguably the best one. So now he's going to attack with the Evolute on the rear guard. That was also a good choice. And now going with the
Vanguard
17k
goes
to the
middle.
Vanguard. No guards. It gets at the end. That reveals something about his grade 3 lineup, which is
true.
also interesting to know both for us and for his opponent. So the Nahalim will not hit as it is still on just 9k. It hasn't gained the plus 2k from having an Overlord Vanguard just yet, but that's still coming up. So that attack will not hit simply because Glow Hitter is still on 10k. So let's see how this is going to proceed. We do have Hank's
Now he's
upcoming
thinking,
turn.
what should he play? I mean, he has Destinies.
Yeah, so you could choose
Could be
to
a
use the
possibility.
Destiny to get rid of. Arguably, the Conroe is a good target in this case, but it still depends. Although there aren't many other choices he would have to make, it's just also the case of soul management.
Yeah.
That he doesn't want to overextend
There
too
he
much.
is. Look
Yeah.
at this nice guy.
Yep, Mr. Destiny once again. So let's see what he's going to decide to drop down. He has the Nahalim in hand, which I think is a good choice.
Yeah, so far he's
in his
just
hand.
detached the soul, so nothing dropped yet, he's thinking of it.
Yep.
I mean, of course, don't make any mistakes. Okay, he retires
Okay,
this.
so he used the Destiny skill to retire the Nahalim. Interesting play.
Yeah.
So not the Conroe this time. He's going to leave that on the field. He won't be able to stride yet. Possibly, if he has an Evolute, he'll be able to retire something else. Nope, the Nahalim drops on the field. And he's left with, I believe, 4 cards in his hand. And let's see how he decides to continue his onslaught, if we shall say. So this time he's going to go rear guard first. So now the fact that there's stand triggers is out in the public, so there's no point trying to, play around it just to not reveal it to your opponent. So let's see. He attacked into the Evolute with his Nahalim. Let's see how he proceeds. He's going to drop the Gatling Claw. The Gatling Claw isn't really that useful anymore in this scenario because there's no starters left on the field.
Yeah, that's true.
So there's no real point in keeping it for too long, and there's no real grade zeros that he would call down that would stay on the field for too long. So I think the Gatling Claws, his work has been done already before he was even put
Okay,
into play.
Destiny goes for... No, not yet. Come on,
Hesitating,
Destiny. Go
hesitating.
for the attack on the
He goes
Vanguard.
on the
There you
Vanguard,
go.
not on the rear
No
guard.
guards, nothing there.
Ooh, there's a
nothing
Bellog.
there.
That's
But yeah, that's an
to
interesting
see.
information for Joshua. But no triggers, sadly, but it was okay. Also, for you guys at home, I mean, of course, he flipped. Sorry, I just bounced different fight's arm. Of course, he dropped the top card of his deck, some sort of bad from the deck, top of the deck on the floor, but he didn't see what it is, and it was a third card. So no mistake here, as maybe being a misplay. So we don't need to reverse any move here. So it's alright.
Yeah. So Joshua does go for the Destiny on his side as well, and he will be able to take first stride as well. We
Yeah,
can
does
see
he go
the
for the
end in his
stride?
hand. He has it at the end, so he could use that to
could
pay
go.
for the stride cost.
What do you think would be the best first stride in that case?
There's a few targets that he could go for, considering the fact that Hank is still on 3 damage. There's still the opportunity, the choice of the Axe Engrave, because in this state he would be able to get into the Blaze state quite fast just to get another card in hand and also to pop off the Nahalim.
Yeah, also we're looking for the deck list. I mean, Josh here has 1 more copy of the Ace in his G zone rather than Hank just having 2 copies of it. So, interesting.
Yeah, it's quite... the thing with the Ace, the reason why you would play 3 copies of it is because you can actually go into it as a first stride if you have 4 face-up Counterblast.
Yeah, that's
And then
true.
you flip 2 to flip 1 copy face-up, and the effect doesn't come in to play just yet. But then you flip another 2 Counterblast and flip the last copy face-up, and then the effect comes into play. So you're already on GB3, and you have a restander on first stride. But we can see Joshua's going to go for the Axe Engrave. So this one, he will have to maintain the Blaze state in order to use it. And he did use the Destiny skill to Counterblast 1 and retire the Nahalim and search for an Overlord from the top 7 cards. But as we can see, he does not find it, and then he'll have to shuffle his deck. So with Axe Engrave, he'll be able to get an extra card in his hand, which I think is always useful because in this mirror match, that's basically what it's going to come down to. That those last few guards that are just going to be so crucial. So I think it's really important to maintain that. And also, Exengrave will accelerate his GB count as well, because he can actually just flip up a face-up G unit for no cost. And that's honestly the nice part about this line of play. So I think the Exengrave is always going to be a solid pick. We can see Joshua only plays one copy of him, and I think you don't need any more because you either first stride him or you don't stride him at all. That's how most games are going to go. And so I think he chose the right line of play.
Right. Pace is a factor of...
Yep, and he's just choosing what to flip face up.
He can choose whatever he wants, was it? Yes. So he goes
the ace
with
does
the
go
ace.
up. Now we can see like the ace won't be used anymore because in the end, like you would only have the three, well, that one copy of the ace will not be used because now if he still wants to go into the ace, he'll have the other copy to Persona flip, but you don't need the third one because he's not going to be just flipping all 4 counterblasts for that first stride because you'd only really do that if you manage to push your opponent to a high enough damage count early on so that you can actually, you know, pressure them with a restand and try to close out the game on first stride with that really heavy cost. And the thing is, the reason why Overlord can also afford that is because even though they're flipping 4 counterblast just to make that play, they have Conroe, which gives the Vanguard the skill that when it attacks you, refund to counterblast. And because it restands, it does it twice. So in the end, you didn't pay any counterblast throughout the turn, and that's actually amazing.
So we see the first attack going off. Now... Hank is thinking, should I block this? Okay.
Ooh, the Belloc comes through.
The Belloc comes through. So now... Strike going through, no guard, draws one card, then first strike. Oh,
the
crit
critical
trigger
comes through as
first.
2 damage and nothing else. So Hank is going to be going on to 5
damage. No triggers here from the damage.
Hits the damage zone. That's a little bit unfortunate.
The crit was given to the stride, and then of course left side gets the 5k plus, right? So
yes, exactly. So the Evolute will have some bonus. Oh no, it will not have any bonus power at the moment because the stride is not an Overlord. Therefore, it has to be Overlord with original name. Therefore, it did not receive any additional buffs. So that's a good thing for Hank. But
so Hank is now on his turn. He has to answer. So what is the best answer? Stride, my friend. Let's see what he can do.
He only has 1 soul, which is a little bit problematic. Because now he would have to use it up. Well, he doesn't have to. He can choose to use it up for
but there's
Destiny.
also not so much possibilities to regain soul charge, is it?
There are several. He could also choose to just re-ride on top of the Destiny as well, just to get himself another soul. But we'll see what he decides to do. Looking at his list as well, there are some interesting choices, but it's kind of hard to say from his situation what will be the best choice. He's going to use the Destiny's starter right face skill. He's hovering over it. He'll use it on the Evolute, so retiring it, still keeping the Conroe online. And there we go, the Legend being dropped for Stride. Let's see, will he go for the one and only Purge? Although in this case, he would not be able to get the GB3 effect off, so he will not be drive checking 4 times. But let's see what he decides to do. He does have 4 counterblast face up, but looking at Hank's list, he only plays 2 copies of the Ace, so he would not be able to do the play that we were talking about earlier. So he does go into the Purge. Very interesting choice. So
I mean, comes down to the fact that if he pays it or not.
Yep, he will. He counterblasts 1 and has to slide an Overlord into the... let's see, he's going to confirm his opponent's damage zone. Not damage zone, drop zone, my bad. So there goes the confirmation. Oh no, my bad. That was the effect of the Destiny.
Oh, was the on-stride?
Yes. So that was the Destiny's on-stride skill. He counterblasts 1 to look at the top 7 for an Overlord. Does not find it. Slightly unfortunate, but he got rid of the end.
So we can confirm that he didn't do the Purge, but then the on-stride effect.
Yes, that was my own.
It was okay because at this point of view, I mean, it is hard to tell because he fingered on the card of the Purge. I mean, as in I do the Purge effect, but then we were saying, okay, he's not paying the flip, of course. So
there we go. He's going to be using the Doombringer to return his To the Legends to the deck in order to draw himself an extra card. That's definitely quite good. So obviously he does have to shuffle it first. I'm not too sure. He has 3 cards in hand. I don't know if there's an Overlord in there. I would assume that there would be because otherwise, you know, going into the Purge without having an Overlord in your hand is a little bit questionable.
It is.
So we'll see if he does, but it's kind of hard to read at this moment. So he's still going to draw a card. Even if he doesn't, if he draws into it, that's going to be pretty big for him as well.
Yeah.
That's going to be a massive change for the game.
See, he draws 1 card.
And
he's so fast with his hand, I can't even see if he has an Overlord in his hand.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, maybe you guys at home can see it, so you can put it in the comments below and write, oh yeah, he has, oh yeah, he has.
I can tell there's another Doombringer in his hand.
No.
But I have a feeling that there might not be another Overlord in his hand, which is a little bit questionable.
if he doesn't have one, then why even then go for this kind of move? You can't see it. All right.
I feel like we see a Protect Orb in there, but it's a little bit hard to figure out. But I think he was banking on drawing another Overlord
Maybe he
from
was
that one.
considering when I put 2 back in my deck, maybe I have the luck of drawing one, but that is a bit of, greedy play. As in,
Yeah.
just putting it on that one piece of luck is kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, like, I think in the end, it's an interesting choice because he did discard the Overlord for the Stride, but I think, he didn't have many other choices. He does have grade 2s and grade 1s in his hand that he could potentially have paid the cost for Stride for, but, in the end, as we mentioned, nerves are real.
Yeah.
Like, this is a
Like I said,
very
it's
decisive
the finals.
round.
I mean, come on, it's the World Finals. We're in the 5th round.
Yeah,
They may be
this is the
playing
last round of
for
Swiss.
the last possibility. I mean, of course, if they are in 4-1, they will go into top 8 eventually, but you still want to be secure. And I mean, the overall day winner would be also a cool title, right?
Yeah,
So
better safe than sorry. Yeah, I think judging from his hand, I don't think that he actually has the... No, he does not have the Overlord. He's going to be using... the skill of Evolute will come into play because he is on the Overlord Stride. He will gain a total of 8k because he gains plus 2k for each card in the damage zone of his opponent. So now he's going to use the Doombringer. And let's see, the stand trigger, my bad, to give the plus 5k to the Doombringer. So he's able to push out numbers, but it's an interesting way of approaching this situation.
maybe because he had the struggle earlier, he said, okay, you know what, then I'm gonna just counter it with power.
That's true.
And maybe come a bit back to it. But let's see. First of all, they're shuffling and putting the decks back, and then Joshua has to give an answer. But he has enough cards in his hand to eventually come back up and say, you know what, I'm just gonna block this attack, go for my own turn, maybe do my own purge. I have to double check. He has purge in his deck, is it?
Yes.
Yes. So, I mean, why not? It's
Yeah,
purge.
exactly.
But it would be the easiest win then for him. So strike goes off.
Definitely, yeah.
Doesn't block.
There is an
Second,
Evolute, another Destiny. That's the Destiny he was looking for
critical. That was he
earlier, but he
looking for.
couldn't draw into. That is
One
very
damage.
unfortunate.
Think about it though. If he would hit a critical, that would be over. But then
That would have been it. That would have been very
luck was not
scary.
on his side. So now comes off with 10k plus here from the right wing.
I believe Joshua's got 6 cards in his hand, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe 5, but I'm not too...
No, he's at 6. 6
Okay.
cards right now.
Okay. So, yeah, it wasn't exactly... I guess his hand isn't exactly one where you can afford to just
So 10k,
be dropping
of
Guardians.
course, blocks off the power bonus. Another 10k, so that should be more than enough.
Yes, and then the end of the turn comes about. So that was an interesting turn by Hank. Honestly, he clearly did bank on getting himself an Overlord. It's a bit unfortunate because just the next drive check already had the Destiny, and that would have been enough for him to actually activate it. But, sometimes you have to take those gambles. If they work out, it's magical. He could have potentially won because in the end, Joshua's hand wasn't all that healthy. And therefore, being forced to 5 damage, being forced to take that 1 damage could have actually meant the end of the game.
That is
So
true. So
it's
right
a
now you
really-
saw before the right he did the detached soul effect, so retires the right ring of the front rear guards. Now just is thinking, what can he do? Maybe he's considering damage that he can put out, or maybe he knows, of course, what he has in his hand, that he can maybe end this turn and then just wins off the whole game. But maybe he's just overthinking, like, what do I drop for my stride?
Thing is, one of the other choices that Joshua has is he does play the Ziegenberg,
Yeah.
which honestly is a pretty good choice as well, because with a Ziegenberg, he could potentially end the game right here because his opponent is on 5. Hitting him with this kind of scary, threatening Restender isn't, just fun in games. So I think it's definitely a valid choice. We'll see what he decides to actually go
puts on the
for.
stride support.
Nope, he's going to go for the Purge. So makes sense. He can't deal the 6 damage, obviously, but he can't get himself 5 cards in hand from the drive check.
Yeah.
So that's definitely very important. My bad. So
Checks the top 7 again.
yes,
for
he'll
an
be activating the
Overlord.
Destiny skill. So looking for an Overlord. And it does not seem like... Damn, we've been seeing a lot of the Overlord players today whiffing those Destiny skills
Yeah.
almost every time. I think we've seen like 70% of the times that the Destiny was activated, there was no Overlords to be found.
Which is sad. I mean, that's the typical, like I said, when I play, as in I need a trigger to win, nothing for 6 turns. And now this is the same deal, just that you draw 7 cards and you don't see anything. Not draw, but check 7 cards. And not fight anything, which is just sad.
Yeah, and it's quite surprising because most players are playing between 8 and 9 grade 3s too, so it's not like it should be this kind of a situation where there's no chance of you to check it. Like if you're playing a type of deck that only plays 4 grade 3s.
Sorry, if you take hand, for example, I said sorry because I hit the microphone. He's already having 8, which is just 4 Destinies, 4 Legends, being his Overlord status. And then if you take the deck from Joshua there, he also has
4 Destinies.
4 Destinies.
To the ends.
To the ends, because you have here 2 here, and then 1 is 3.
Oh yes, true.
And then of course
1 the cross.
1, yeah. So you know.
Both at 8 counts, so it's quite interesting. It's unfortunate, but like we've seen in the other rounds as well, when Overlord was featured, it was a similar kind of turnout. So nothing can be done about it. In the end, that's how card games function.
Yeah.
But we'll see how this round is gonna continue. So he drops the Nahalem. Only going to be getting a 5k pump this turn because he's not on a restander. He drops down the draw trigger to pump up his Nahalem by 3k. And then from his own skill, he also get a 2k buff once the Vanguard does attack. Well, he'll have the 2k buff, but also another 5k buff when the Vanguard does attack. So, hitting with the end for an 11k poke. So, asking for a 5k shield from Hank. Let's see, Hank is also fairly low on cards in hand.
That's true, he just has 5 in his hand, so...
That is really unfortunate. One of them is a grade 3, so if he doesn't have a perfect guard, it's going to be quite sad. He might actually have to bank it on a trigger at some point this turn.
I think when...
He's going to be taking it down.
Oh,
and
yeah,
he
that
gets the draw, and that's going to be game. Joshua takes
I mean, in
round
my standpoint,
5.
I would have thought that I would have blocked off that 1 attack. Maybe then with the stride going off with, maybe I have a chance to get a huge trigger. But then, of course, with the stride, if he hits a crit, then it's just over.
I think he had the potential to have the... to also... I think he had a perfect guard, so that would have been okay for the Destiny. But the thing is, like, he didn't have enough to actually like go over every single one
that's
of those
why he waved his hand as in putting these cards down, thinking what can I block, what can't I block, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, kind of sad. But then of course you have to consider how much can I block off, how much can't I, and then go with it. And yeah, that was the last Swiss round for today.
Yeah, that's
quite interesting
true.
matchup. I mean, also going back and forth. Somebody had an answer, somebody had another answer to it,
Yeah.
and then at the end, of course, had the struggle with the Overlord again, like not finding anything. I mean, I think even when Josh comes over and we talk to him about this, he will also find it interesting that nobody had a real chance in the games today finding an Overlord with the 7 checkups. But also interesting to ask, because we were not sure if he was on a 5-0 streak in that case.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Or not, because we were
It'll be
not
interesting to
100%
find
sure. But we will find out. So.
Yeah, but the thing is, we also can't forget that Hank did have to G-assist
Yeah,
on
of course.
first
A
turn.
G-assist
That
was kind of a
really
struggle
hurt.
because in this matchup, I think every card that you can eventually play, stride, whatever, right, on play, is eventually one card better for the other, as in increasing your luck, of course, also. But then going on the G-assist, was it for grade 2?
No, it was for the grade 1.
Well, grade 1, sorry.
Yeah.
I was not sure
It's even
anymore.
worse,
I'm very sorry
honestly.
for that. But then also, like, going into that, not even a Sentinel, like a perfect guard putting in. I mean, that's even bad, but it's, of course, at least a ride that you can put down.
Yeah, at least that
and
much.
not going with a G-assist, because G-assist is more of a struggle, because you can still detach the perfect guard, coming back somehow, because their deck's getting cards back into your deck
Yeah,
somewhere.
exactly, of course.
You know, so there were possibilities, but, you know, because also if he detaches it after, he can still do his PG, and then of course has it already in his drop zone for the effects that come off with it.
Exactly.
So there are possibilities all around. I mean, you can do anything with it. So
Yeah, that's true. So I think it was an interesting mirror match. Honestly,
yeah, also, like I said, with the difference in how many pieces of G cards you had in your zone, like he were more aces in than the other deck.
Yeah.
Of
Giving
course,
him
the
that
purge,
option.
both sides, purge is just all the way the key card by us today.
Yep, we will have Joshua joining us very soon
It just
for a
is
quick
making its
post-game
way. Oh, there's
interview.
Joshua, yeah.
So yeah, this is going to be very interesting. So there are some interesting deck choices here that I do want to ask him about. So it'll be very, very interesting to see. But honestly, that was a really good round overall. And now we will have Joshua coming with us for the post-round
Yeah, Josh,
interview.
join us here.
Hello,
Hi,
hello.
how are you doing? No, it's no problem. Take your time. Take your time. Yeah, nice to meet you, Sasha. This is Chris, of course.
Who are you again?
Different fight. One interesting, before we talk about your match and all, right?
Yeah.
Do you know that also, including you guys, nobody found any overlords while hitting their 7 checkups?
Yeah,
Nobody.
so-
It's like everybody just checked everything and nobody found anything while doing so, which is kind of sad.
Oh, you commentated the game.
Yeah, we
Oh,
commentated all games. Also, which was sad, was of course giving your opponent, let's say he had a disadvantage in G assisting on his first
Yeah.
ride.
It didn't matter because like.
You can take this microphone
Oh,
first, sorry.
Hello.
Yeah.
I know that game was like even my opponent and I were like it's very awkward because we didn't hit our stride break skill and then trigger wise we barely hit anything. I think he hit one stand trigger in the beginning, but it didn't matter because he attacked with Vanguard first. And I think the only trigger I hit was one critical that game, like in the early phase. So it's like it was really scary, like especially because he's undefeated, and I was X1. And then it's split in 2 blocks. So even though I played at the top table like this one, if I lost, I wouldn't have made it to top 8. I don't think.
Yeah, that's true.
So like it didn't matter to him if he won or lost, to be honest, because he would have. Yeah.
Yeah, but still, it was like a very interesting mirror match to see. And also, the one thing that was kind of interesting is how on his last turn he went for the purge.
I thought he had another.
He was fishing for the overlord so hard and just couldn't hit it.
I thought he had another overlord in his hand.
I thought so
The
too,
moment he rolled that, in my head I'm like, I lost. There's no way I can play this.
Yeah, because you had like 6 or 7 cards in hand. And
Oh,
if he
can you
would've
see
pushed
my
it to
hand?
5.
Can you see my hand when you
Yeah.
commentary?
Yeah.
I was all 5k shields.
Yeah, your
pretty
opponent
much.
was holding the hands a bit like this so we couldn't see.
Yeah.
But we were like talking, does he have an overload in his hand or not? And then we saw he was fishing for it. It was like, isn't it a bit too greedy to just go on this one piece of luck, drawing one, and then he didn't find it? which
Because
was, you know,
the other thing he could have went to in that situation, because that was his first try, right? It was the rare.
The X engrave.
Yeah, X engrave. But like, he wouldn't have won. He would have just like plus, but he could have tried to got a crit. But he ran rainbow. Like the moment I saw that stand, I'm like, oh, he's running rainbow trigger, 4 draw, 4 stand, 4 crit, 4 heal, and then 2 crits already out of the game. 1 from G assist, 1 from guard. So like he only had 2 crits left in his deck, and I'm like, the only way he can win is like he can go to X and guard plus try to get a crit because I had to always take the Vanguard hit. But when he went purge, I'm like, oh, you can put me forward to 5 damage. I'm like, I'm gonna probably lose.
Yeah. I think if it would have hit that overlord, things would have definitely taken a turn.
I think I would have just straight up lost because I was gonna take the Vanguard hit no matter what.
Yeah, were you considering any other strides for the last one? Because I do notice that you played the Ziegenberg as well. So I think that could have been a potential option as well.
Oh, for my last ride?
Yeah.
So in my head, I was like, because he was at 5 damage, so I got 5 drive check, right? And then if I went to Ziegenberg, first of all, I had no soul to use any minus skills, even though he had 1 more rearguard left. And then if I went to Ziegenberg, I had no card in my hand to actually get rid of the extra rearguard he had left, so I would have -1. -1 for drive check is like, compared to 5 drive check free,
That's
I'm
true.
like, okay. And the other strides I couldn't go into because the ZR, I needed the Persona grade 3, and my other grade 4s, I don't think I could have went into them, yeah.
That's true, but I think it was still the
Like
pretty
5
much the
drive
best
check
choice
is
you could have
free.
made.
Like 5 drive check. You know.
Yeah. All right. So, are there any? How do you feel about the tournament itself? Taking Overlord to the tournament itself. We've seen a lot of deleters, some Thavas. So there's been some interesting decks. So why did you choose to take Overlord in the end?
So I'm part of a team PBG, and then we have some Vanguard players on the team, and in that team there's specifically 2 members on the team that I playtest a lot. That'll be Nikki Goldman and John. I can't pronounce his last name, but we call him Glenn Daddy. And then Nikki, I think a lot of people know Nikki, but Nikki and I, we playtested a lot. Funny enough, my deck build is, I think, the exact same or similar to Nikki when he played in ARG recently, and we playtested a lot. And because of so much playtesting, and me and Nikki agreed that Overlord is probably the best consistent deck to play, and like below that would be like Deleters, Thavis, Chaosbreaker. So I just wanted to play, especially when I heard it was BO1 format, I was like, oh, I gotta play the most consistent deck, you know, like I'm not gonna risk myself.
Yeah. And then speaking of, your team, is there anybody you want to give a shout out to? Anyone back at home, the Canadian community?
Canadian community. Shout out to, how many shout outs can I give?
let's say as many as you like, but don't go half an hour.
Okay, so 29 minutes. Okay, so I'll give a shout out to my friend Peter. Peter helps me a lot. He takes me to a lot of like local tournaments. Like I went to 3 regional this year, and honestly, Peter was the one who pushed me to go to like all those regionals. And he drove me around. Like he would, like I'll be like, I don't want to go to get this buy card in a buy card tournament. He would like drive to my place at like 10 a.m. be like, hey, come downstairs. I'm like, why? Like, I'm here at your place. We're going to go to the buy tournament. I'm like, I don't want to get a buy card. He's like, no, you're going to get it. And I got like 3 or 4 buy card. And then shout out to Omari. He's just a friend. He's a really cool guy. And he's at my local. And then shout out to Nikki Goldman for being a really good practice buddy. And then John for kind of helping me understand Link Choker more. And I think that's a shout out to my parents for giving birth to me. But that's it.
All right, so before we go, how do you feel about, well, now it's going to be the top 8. You've got a pretty solid chance, because as you said, you are now 4-1.
I'm X1, so I think
Yeah.
I'm 100% top 8. If I'm not, that's going to be really weird if I'm not, especially out of the top
should
table.
normally be secure.
It should be the case because
Yeah.
everybody with X1 at least enter, one with X0.
And now it's top table.
But isn't that the case? We don't. Yeah, but from the second block we will have one with 0, but it should be fine.
Yeah.
So you should be good.
So how do you feel about top 8 coming up?
Yeah.
I think because so funny enough, I was legitimately in like the top table the whole day today.
Yeah.
And honestly, the only matchup I thought I was afraid of was like the leaders.
Okay.
And even though all my friends said like Overlord like destroys the leader, I just feel like, you know, if the leader gets that nut hand, like that poker hand, like
Yeah.
there's no way to counter it really. Like I faced the leader player, and then he had the starter, and he had like, I was counting like, oh, which card he's getting. So I used like grade 0 Conroe, counterblast, search for Gatling Claw,
Yeah.
and kill the start of the
Oh,
Gatling
yeah,
Claw.
yeah. That's
Because I'm
good.
just like, you know, depending on how many starters they get, right? It's like over.
Okay, that's good. All right, so best of luck for the top 8.
Yeah, best of
I
luck.
hope it works out well.
Yeah.
So thank you very much,
Thank
and
you.
congratulations
Thank you.
once again.
Thank you. Good luck for the top 8. Maybe see you later. Maybe. Hopefully. All right.
All right, so that was the last round of Swiss for the Vanguard part of the BCS finals. So up next, we will have the Luck and Logic finals, followed by the Vice Schwartz finals, followed by the Buddy Fight finals, and finally the Vanguard Grand Finals.
Yeah, because we're going to start now with the Vanguard top 8, which is best of 3. So, of course, that will take
Yes.
some time, but then we will go through all of these finals now, and
Yeah.
then we will have the Vanguard finals later. So, if you are now chilling some bit around, take your friends, take some breakfast if you are outside of like Europe.
Yep.
Or if you are in the other countries, of course, you can go out, get some nice food now.
Yeah,
And,
and
of course,
of
stick here
course-
for Luck and Logic as well. So,
Yep.
yeah, Chris is going to take a break now.
Yep.
And one of
And
my
I'll be
colleagues
back
from USA will be
for-
joining us, which is Kevin, who is in the back row already. So he'll be like, oh, I want to join now. Just go in. So, all right, Chris, thank you for now.
Yep,
we will
thank
see
you
you
very
back
much.
later.
Yes, I'll
We're
be
going
back
to a
for
short
Buddy
break,
Fight.
and then we come back for Luck and Logic, and you will see him later also for Buddy Fight next
Yes.
to Vanguard. So
All right,
we'll
so-
be right back after this short break. Thank you.
All right, see you soon.
Attention, please.